Up, everybody. Good morning. It is Middays with Marks. I'm your host, John Marks. Good morning to everybody listening on 97.5 FM, the Fanatic, WPEN FM. Good morning on the old-fashioned radio dial. Morning to everybody listening on the Fanatic app. I'm telling you, I take the Fanatic app. When I get in the car, sometimes I have to remind myself, listen on the radio, dummy. The Fanatic app's amazing. You can listen on Alexa. Just tell Alexa, play 97.5 The Fanatic. Good morning to all of our YouTube viewers watching live on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to 97.5 The Fanatic. Watch the show live. Comment. Be a part of our online community of live viewers and watchers. As we say good morning to Mr. Ray Dunn. Ray, good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Johnny. How are you?
I am unprepared because I didn't get the cream in my coffee. I've been doing the last 10 of 10. I'm going down and getting coffee. So I have a nice fresh cup ready to go to start the show. But this morning I had a detour, had to take a leak. So the cream's not even in my coffee right now, Ray.
And for you, that's a big problem because it's what? It's three of them that it takes? The reason we run out down there is
6.
because I was going to say.
3. I probably won't use 6. I don't know. It depends on the cream. This coffee mate creamer that you don't have to refrigerate, which means it can't possibly be real coffee, like real cream.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely bad for us.
Right.
For sure.
But everything that I do is bad for me. No,
Point.
3. All right, there you go. So I do have some coffee rolling right there. And it's just us today. I don't say good morning to everybody else.
Yeah, hey, just the two of us.
Hey!
Just the two of us.
Who sings it?
No idea.
I can't think off the top of my head either.
Was it a one-hit wonder?
No. I don't think so. Two of us. I'm blanking because I don't know. Just the two. Is the Beatles? No, that's not the one I'm thinking about.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well.
So you went to the Flyers game last night. We have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be a very, very fun show. And again, invite you to watch on YouTube because at some point we're going to have a YouTube instead of the chat recap. We're going to have a meetup with our YouTube watchers and chatters. Even though I don't know if I want to meet some of the chatter. Like If Bayless, you really want to meet If Bayless?
I kind of do. I think it's more for my own personal security because If Bayless has so many pictures of me, even if they're AI generated, on his or her computer, that I would want to know who exactly If Bayless is. Yeah.
You'd feel better. All right, so we talked about the Flyers a lot, this whole fire Rick Tocchet chant. It was going to happen. Are they going to address everybody before the game? So you went down to the game.
That's right, I did. Season saved. We're back. Dan Vladar taking us to the promised land.
Is this what we play after the wins?
Sure, yeah, it's just the horn.
No.
But I got to hear 3 horns last night. Actually, 4 of them. With that empty netter.
I got the empty netter at the end.
Sorry, Risto, I didn't give you your credit there.
So I was glued. I actually had the game on before the game started because the rumor was, and look at me, I just love the chaos. I do. But the rumor was that Tocchet was going to get booed a minute into the game. Now, I don't know. I saw a bunch of people saying it. I didn't know if it was actually going to happen. I guess I was expecting something because nothing happened.
No.
You could hear a pin drop. So I texted Ray, and I'm like, Ray, was there no booing? What's going on? And you had just kind of gotten in there, and you didn't hear anything.
No, I got in, and we got, when someone offers you a ticket, you go with their plans for to go into the game. We got in a few minutes late there because we got a nice dinner. Thank you for dinner. Thank you for the ticket. It was wonderful.
He paid for your dinner, too?
It was my friend's dad.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's one of those, you guys have no money. Like, let me take care of you guys. Very
okay.
nice. Very nice there. But we get in there, and we're like a minute or two late to the game, and so we've missed the 19-minute mark where chaos was going to rule the world. And I'm like, when we get in there, it's going to be an insane environment. You're going to have the fire-talking people, the people that are like, you're overreacting. Like, I could be walking into a melee. And I walk in there, and it's like, hockey's happening. That's it.
Yeah, and there was no buzz in the crowd. You could hear a pin drop. I was actually, before the game started, I was thinking, will Jim Jackson not acknowledge it? Will he acknowledge it? Are they going to talk about it? And then nothing happened. So there was this Twitter account where this guy was the ringleader and the planner. And I didn't even remember. I just remembered seeing somebody tweet it out, and I thought maybe something was going to happen. After the game, I saw him retweet the original tweet because now, of course, it's in the algorithm and I can't miss it even if I want to miss it. And he took a video of the moment. And, Ray, how many people do you think were actually firing fire target?
4!
Yeah, 5 people.
It was not a loud contingent.
It's maybe 5 people. All of his friends. Him and 4 jabronis were chanting fire target. Nobody else said it. And then the guy deleted his account, so we can't even find the video he posted.
Well, now, of course, the Twitter sphere believes that he was taken out.
Oh.
And someone made the call, and now that account's gone. Because I'm thinking, and someone needs to correct me on this, because I've been way too far down in the rabbit hole of Flyers Twitter at this point, and it's not a place that I'm native to, so this is definitely a new world for me.
Right.
Was this the same guy with the cannolis?
I don't know.
Because he was sending out cannolis. I saw cannolis were going to people who were talking Flyers. And if they've got the cannoli guy, that's a big, big shame because you remember me talking about it yesterday. I was like, hey, I heard that if we talk about Flyers, we get cannolis. If this guy's the one sending out the cannolis and they wiped him out off the face of Twitter,
No cannolis.
What'll happen to us?
No cannolis.
It's disappointing.
Flyers do get the win. Exciting game. I was there for the duration. I had bedtimes and things like that, but my kids were watching with me, and I got to watch the whole last 15 minutes of the game. And I was on the edge of my seat. It was a tense one. Good win by the organization, though, right?
Oh, it was wonderful. Again, Vladar, here to save the day. They were talking about after the game how much of a leader he is. It's good. You actually have a goaltender that I can enjoy watching. That was fun. And, yeah, I mean, other than that, I know we're not going to break down the whole X's and O's of what's going on in hockey because neither one of us can.
Right. This is pretty much it.
But this is the extent of it. I was excited. I was thrilled.
I watched.
I was there. And I got a couple of texts like, all right, you have to go Thursday now. And I was like, I'd love to go Thursday. I got a couple of things going on Thursday. I can't go.
Right. So you can't go to every Flyers game because I mean, you're 1-0 in the season now, right?
If they lose Thursday, coming back from the Olympic break, we'll talk about whether or not I have to go to every Flyers game the rest of the season.
Right. I did want to play before the game. It came out, and I was expecting this because you had heard some things that management realized that they needed to say something about this with the Michkov stuff and Rick Tocchet and Jonesy. So Danny Briere comes out before the game. And I don't want to call it awkward, but it was awkward. It was a little bit awkward. Here's Danny Briere kind of addressing the Michkov stuff and more.
One thing I can tell you, first of all, is Matvei Michkov is not going anywhere. Let's make that clear, okay? Matvei is going to be here for a long time.
So stop it real fast. Perfect. Like, that's what you need to say. Be very simple, clear, and concise. He's not going anywhere. All right, go ahead.
Player here for the Flyers, and what he's going through right now is all part of the learning process. So that's out of the way. It's not going anywhere. He'll be here. He'll be a good player.
All right, there you go. And you have more? All right, here he is.
The other thing I can tell you, and I talk to Rick Tocchet on a daily basis, he wants Matvei to succeed. He wants to develop him to be the best player he can be. And along the way, there's tough lessons that comes with that. That's like raising a child. It doesn't matter if he's playing 12, 14, 16, or even if he's playing 52 minutes a night. He's learning along the way. That's part of the process, and it's going to make him a better player along the way. And Rick Tocchet wants that. He wants to be here for the long haul to lead this team. Him and Matvei, they have a good relationship.
All right, and he said it's like raising a child. I don't know if that was necessary. Do you have where he talks about that? You don't have that. So he talked about coming out of. He's addressing the coming in out of camp. He came into the camp out of shape, and he said that he doesn't know if he's going to be able to get in shape by the end of the season. It may be in the offseason, which I really don't understand. A hockey person would have to actually explain that to me. That a 20-year-old, 21-year-old can't possibly get themselves in shape. Him coming in the offseason for whatever reason he did it, not in shape's a really, really bad look. It is. It's just a really, really bad look. Guess what? To continue to address it and for Rick to still be bringing it up in February, and the fact that Danny Briere comes out to kind of like, all right, enough of this, we need to move on, and then starts talking about it again? Like, stop bringing it up. No more coming into camp out of shape. No more. You didn't need to bring it up last night. It wasn't necessary. Don't bring it up again. Don't be talking about him being a child and tough lessons and all these other things. Like, we get it. He's a young player. He made a mistake. He obviously shouldn't have come in and out of shape, but it's February 4th. We're still talking about it yesterday about him being out of shape. It's just totally unnecessary. And here's another thing. All right, and it's actually good that we're talking about the Flyers, even if it's not about the on-ice thing, because it means that they matter, and there's stuff going on within the organization that matters, but it's looking a little dysfunctional right now. They need to stop it, and they need to move forward. I believe in Jonesy. I don't have any reason to believe that Danny Briere doesn't know what he's doing or can't be a good GM. I have no idea with Rick Tocchet. I don't know. I don't know if Rick Tocchett's the right coach for this team. I don't know enough about hockey. They blow through hockey coaches. Every team almost just blows through hockey coaches. I have no idea. But it's time to move on from this whole out of shape thing. Enough about it. He shouldn't have brought it up last night. It's unnecessary. You're trying to move on from it, not bring it up again. So hopefully they don't bring any of that up again. And one more word on this. I mean, you think about, let's talk about a couple of young superstars that came through this town. Eric Lindros, hockey. Allen Iverson. And I'm not saying that Michkov is anywhere close to these players, but they're still young, exciting, all of that stuff, right? Joel Embiid. Could you imagine if the Sixers came out every time Joel Embiid showed up out of shape or was doing something wrong? It took years for us to find out about the whole Shake Shack bag of food stuff on the plane, right? Are you telling me that young star players show up to camp out of shape? Oh, how about Jalen Carter this year that showed up to camp out of shape? Vic Fangio called him out on it. He's still not talking about it. Vic Fangio called Jalen Carter out on coming to camp out of shape. Michkov coming in out of shape, although unacceptable, and they should have been annoyed by it, not only did it get out, it's been a focal point to where they're talking about it in February. What are they doing? Do you imagine Joel Embiid, Allen Iverson, every time that they did something, they were late to practice, they were late for this, they were late for that? Jesus, they'd be talking all the time. Hey, Flyers, now you're in a position where you matter. Start acting like you matter. Coming out and still bitching about a player coming in out of shape months after it happened. Oh, my God, act like you've been there before. I know it's been a long time. But and that's the issue I see with the organization. Do they know what the hell they're doing? Because they've really handled this entire situation poorly, Ray. Really poorly.
Yeah, it's amazing that this is the talking point that it is. Like, if you give insight, it was once. You say it once about him, and it's going to follow him. You just keep saying it, and it's going to be the prevailing thought for anyone about it at this point. Like, and I get it. For the fans, it'll be how exciting he is, and they're burying our favorite player, and why are they burying our favorite player, and that'll cause you to have what we have right now, where people are mad at the coach, mad at the organization. But really, when it comes down to it, like, any other organization in this town, if they were talking about their superstar like that, it would have led every single show that we did for multiple days, if not a week on end. Like, just think about it. Think about how long we talked about the Embiid Maxey meeting last year. That, you're late for things. You need to be on time. You need to be, all that. And that was anonymous sourcing. That wasn't just, hey, we've got audio to play for you of these people saying it.
That's not Nick Nurse coming out. Could you imagine if Nick Nurse in February was still talking about Embiid coming in out of shape or missing meetings? Could you imagine?
No, actually, I can't.
I mean, what are they doing? I don't know. It's crazy. But hopefully this is now behind them, and because the Flyers have a lot of work to do if they're going to make the playoffs. But there's that. All right.
Season saved.
Maybe. And you know what? And Brendan Petrulli said this to us in the back, because I was thinking this at the end of the game. When they got the win, there seemed to be an exhale, and they're all celebrating after the game on the ice. And I'm wondering, I'm like, all right, is this one of these moments? And I know the Flyers aren't good enough to win anything this year, but is this one of these moments where it's a rallying and a pivot point, where there's a lot of noise on the outside, fans are calling for Rick Tocchet's head, like that's the talk of the media. Briere's got to hold a press conference. People are showing up to games. People are mad, and they rally around the coach. Or they rally around each other, and there is this reel where now everybody starts pulling in the right direction. I honestly don't think the Flyers get it. I don't know if Rick Tocchet gets it. I don't know if Danny Briere gets it, because when I heard him talk last night, didn't seem like he got it, or it was just an awkward conversation or an awkward press conference because he knew he had to address it. He didn't want to come out there and do it. But do they really get it? I don't know if they get it. I don't know if you can say that somebody gets it if they come out and they do the exact same thing they've been doing, which is they're saying it's a lot like raising a child. So you're talking about raising a kid, and that's what you're doing with Michkov. I understand the comparison that they're trying to make. He's a young player. They're going to make mistakes. But if you know he's a young player and he's going to make mistakes, both on the ice and off the ice, stop talking about it and making it the only thing that they're like they've dumbed down the conversation to now it's all about how many minutes he gets a night on the ice. And that's what fans want to hear. And now Tocchet's going to get questions and questions and questions on that. It takes on a life of its own, where the reality is there's so many other problems with the team that's causing them to be where they are right now. No one's even focusing on that because we're so focused on this ice time thing with Michkov. So they got to figure things out, man, because they don't look like they know what the hell they're doing, to be perfectly honest.
Now, the other side of this that I could hear a fan having with this, and it's not how I feel, but just to balance out the conversation a little bit, is there was a time where they were winning, and we were still hearing questions about Michkov's ice time. And he was still addressing, he got upset with it then, and it's been like the lingering thing. As much as they're focused on it, we've also focused on it in terms of, and we, not necessarily you and I, but in terms of the outside of the organization, media coverage, fan interaction with the team, have talked about it so much. Is it almost more that they should have tried to make sure that there was no fire there? Like, have they lit the match, or was the match already lit and they threw gasoline on it? Like, where are they at the point where, like, how much responsibility do we have in terms of engaging with that conversation versus engaging with any other conversation?
You can talk about him not getting ice time and not talk about him showing up to camp late over and over and over again. Tocchet says it on Sunday at the Carnival, and you could tell he's, like, waiting for it, and he's mad because he's so tired of answering it. He's very defensive when he's giving the answer because he's mad about it, because he still feels a certain way about it. I get it. But you can say he needs to earn, because the other thing that I hear smart hockey people say, like Jason Martinez, is that he also needs to get better in certain hockey situations, and that could be the reason. Hey, he's a young player. He has to earn the ice time, and right now in certain situations, there's guys that I trust out there more than I trust him. You just stop bringing up the out-of-shape stuff. That's where it becomes a toxic conversation. That's where it becomes a sports radio conversation. And believe me, you don't always want to be involved in sports radio conversations. You want to be interesting enough to where we're talking about it. But that came when a dummy like me comes on, and now I'm talking about it because of it. Like, that's not necessarily what you want.
And that's more where I'm going with this. Is like, there are some times where we spend 4 days of an Eagles week talking about something, and it's the laser-focused conversational point for us. And, you know, there'll be fans and there'll be people in the media like, that's just sports talk radio banter for you. How much of this Michkov thing is more a conversational thing versus being an actual thing?
I mean, I think it's an
actual thing. I'm just saying that this is from the fan perspective. Like, the more asking you to
But they've made it a thing.
Right. I agree with you on that. I'm just telling you how I think some people perceive us talking about the Flyers as like, oh, yeah.
Handling this correctly, it's not as big of a thing. People can still be mad at Tocchet for the ice time, and people would still be mad at him for it, and there'd be a real conversation about it. But continually bringing up the coming into camp late, it's just not smart. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. I'm rooting for the Flyers. I like Jonesy a lot. I believe in Jonesy. I think Danny Briere can be a good GM. This is really not an indictment of Danny Briere. It's more of an organizational thing. You need to handle yourself better as an organization. Look at what the Eagles do. I don't want to say look at what the 76ers do because we know what they've done in the past, but probably not a good idea to continue on your best young player that everybody wants to see play, and they're mad that you're not playing, that you continually go, and you're just stirring the pot with this thing. All right, we had the anniversary of the Super Bowl 52. We'll talk about that coming up. Also, yesterday we started to talk about the state of the teams in town. We're going to look at the next 5 years. Who would you expect to have the most postseason success, and could the Eagles outpace all other three teams? We'll dive into that. We'll take some phone calls as well. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
2 games, 2 wins. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The 76ers continue their West Coast swing late last night, winning 113-94 over the Warriors. VJ Edgecombe had 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists in the win. Here's Tom McGinnis on our airwaves with VJ Jump.
103-86 Sixers, 2 seconds. VJ hangs, fires, puts it up and in. An incredible shot by Edgecombe. And the Sixers lead 105-86. VJ with 23.
Sixers cruising that victory. Now they go back to L.A. So it was L.A. Monday night, Golden State Tuesday night, back to L.A. Thursday night, 10 o'clock against the Lakers. You'll be able to hear it on our airwaves. Flyers 4-2 win over the Capitals last night at home. Owen Tipp and Jamie Drysdale both scored in the game. Dan Vladar had 26 saves in the game. They've got the Senators tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at home before the Olympic break. We're days away from the Super Bowl. From Radio Row, Mike Gill will join us at 1 o'clock to break down everything going on out in Santa Clara. This update's brought to you by Audible. If you're stuck in traffic, take care of you with help from the top voices in well-being on Audible. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com/wellbeing. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, best birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Jason had something going. Very busy with the hockey. Harry, I believe, returns next week. We hope.
Florida man Mays?
Yes, he was in Florida for most of the month of, most of the month of January. So hopefully he returns for a day next week. So there's that. All right, let's got a couple Flyers fans that want to talk. So let's get to them before we move on to our other topic here. Mark is calling from Philly. Mark, good morning. How are you?
Hi, how are you guys? Listen every day, and you've got a great show every single day.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it, buddy.
So my dad bought season tickets in 72, and I took them over in 80, and we've had them for another 45 years. I stopped going about 5 years ago. I'm in my 60s. Actually worked in the NHL for a couple of years and coached juniors in Canada, and also worked with George Wysdecki in Denver College. So I know a lot about hockey. The only problem they have now, other than him being out of shape, was he doesn't play defense. Now, at one time he didn't hustle back to play defense. Now he's hustling back, and his defense is sketchy. For Tocchet to bring it out, and I'm good friends with him for 40 years, been on vacation with him. For him to go in the public and say it is not a good look. The other problem is they have nothing. I keep saying they're 5 years away from being 5 years away. This team is horrible.
Well,
I'll let you respond.
Yeah, Mark, and I appreciate it. I mean, I'm not even going to pretend, but we had Bill on yesterday, and he starts spitting out all these prospects that they have, which is awesome because Bill Colarulo actually knows what he's talking about. But I was just under the assumption that everything was going to be fine. It's just taking a little bit of time to the younger players that are getting up. And you don't want to deviate from that and go out and spend money on older players. Does anybody have confidence that that's actually going to be the case? I guess I do. Kind of leads into the next thing we're talking about here.
Is it blind confidence?
It is for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, oh, yeah, we like Jonesy, we like Briere. Like,
right.
Why not?
Are they getting the returns that they thought for these young players? Are they making smart moves where you're adding an organizational piece without having to give them $15 million a year? When the Phillies were built, when the Pat Gillick built the Phillies, you look at that team, a lot were young players, but you also had a Victorino. He was a Rule 5. You also had a Jason Worth. He was a one-year contract. You had Jamie Moyer. You had Joe Blanton. You had guys from outside the organization that were acquired, that were traded for, that were a big part of what happened. So are those players being acquired? I just don't know.
Yeah, and I hate to bring it back to the debate we had a month ago, but everyone was telling me when I was like, well, why are you signing this guy to a 5-year contract? He's going to be a fourth-line center when you guys are actually competitive. And everyone was like, well, it might be because the guys in the system, maybe they don't feel as great about them coming up and being centers. Well, it's like, all right, well, it's tough to get you a top-line center, and if you don't think these guys are developing the way that you want, that's probably not a good sign, because if you're starting to take your steps forward, you're more than likely not going to be picking in the positions to get these top-tier guys. Now, given the way the last month's gone, that problem might be totally erased. You might be in a good spot to be taking someone really talented up at the top of the draft because, you're looking up at a lot of people in the standings right now.
Say tank now? No, they need to go on a run.
Not after last night, man. Not after last night. I'm back. Please. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to drink out of the cup.
Really?
Tequila, booze.
I was just entertained last night. It was a good game.
It was fun.
It was a good game. All right, so it's strange right now because people are down on the Phillies, and we have a Phillies segment later on because I have something to say about some Phillies comments that are out there. But for the most part, the Phillies are a good team. They're a good club, Ray. The Eagles, we know, even though we like to crap on them all the time and we want to get rid of the quarterback and the head coach, they have had a decent amount of success.
So much good.
8 years ago today, they won the Super Bowl with a new quarterback and a new head coach. They've been to 2 of 3, now 2 of 4 Super Bowls. So the Eagles are the gold standard, as Jeffrey Lurie once said, and then it's kind of like the rest of the guys. Really, it's the Eagles, it's the Phillies, and then it's the Sixers and the Flyers, right, Ray? I mean, the Eagles are clearly above everybody else. The Phillies went on a nice run. Mm-hmm. We've had a nice run with the Phillies. It's disappointing right now.
We have a good club.
Sixers, Flyers, Been really bad with the Flyers. So you asked an interesting question. You said, all right, everybody's mad at the Eagles with everything else. Who do you think wins more playoff rounds over the next 5 years? So you have to do rounds because the Eagles winning a playoff game, that counts as a playoff round for the other teams. So Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, or Eagles, who wins more playoff rounds in the next 5 seasons? And think about it for a second before you really answer it, right? You're out there listening right now or watching right now. It's like, all right, the Eagles in the last 5 years have been to 2 Super Bowls. They've won it. So that means in those seasons without a bye, they're getting 3 wins. Did they have the bye when they went in 2022?
Yeah.
So they didn't play the extra game. Last year they played the extra game.
Yep.
So they played how many games last year?
4. They won
Played 4 wins. They had 4
wins.
All right, so they won 4.
That they did.
4.
The Phillies, meanwhile, have went from going to the World Series to going to the NLCS to losing to the Dodgers last year and not winning a series last year
Right.
because they had the bye.
So they had to buy.
So they got none last year. The Sixers got none last year. The Flyers, we already know what it's like. They got none last year. So if you look at a calendar year, not this year, the previous year, the Eagles got 4 and nobody else got anything? Is that correct?
Well, it depends how you consider the Phillies thing.
What do you mean?
If they earn the bye, they don't have to play
Okay.
a wild
All
card
right.
series, so
All
we're
right.
giving them 1.
Okay, that's fair. Because if they can't play, that is a win. That's fair.
Right.
That's fair. All right, so next 5 years. So think about it. Where are the Sixers right now? Where are the Flyers right now? Flyers aren't going to make the playoffs this year, most likely. Does that mean they're going to make the playoffs next year? I can't tell you that. I'm surprised every year when I'm told the expectation isn't to make the playoffs. Like, huh? How many years can you do this? And like next year? Because even when I asked Jason, I'm like, what about the playoffs next year? He's not confident in saying yes to it.
A couple years away from being a couple years away.
So the Sixers? I don't know.
Can they win a series?
Yeah, I think they can. Sure. Will they? I don't know. Yeah, the Sixers definitely can, but
Right.
there's a lot of things that could happen between now and the start of the playoffs that could derail that,
Correct.
like Embiid
Yes.
and his health. So I don't know. And the Phillies, like, all right, Phillies are still a good club. They could win it. So
We have a good club.
So if you were to estimate how many playoff series wins or rounds the Eagles go, what is at the top of your head? What are you thinking? At least averaging 1 a year, maybe
Yeah.
like 1.5 a year.
The over-under is at 1.5. Like
7.
You expect them to win a playoff game next year? That would probably be like baseline expectation for right now, given the talent that they have.
Well, if they don't win a playoff game next year, we might have a new head coach.
Right, and that
the
also
following year.
throws this entire equation into a whole different spin. But yeah, I think you would expect the Eagles to go a round, which if you're just doing it for 1 year, you probably feel pretty good about the field here. You probably feel good about the Phillies, Sixers, Flyers.
Do you feel better about the Phillies than the Sixers?
Yes.
Right now and in the near future. So let's say the next 5 years.
In the next 5 years, I think 5 years from now, I'm talking about Sixers postseason more often than I'm talking about a Phillies postseason.
I agree. But 3 years from now, it may be even. Next year, it's like right now, it's Phillies over Sixers. 5 years from now, I agree with you. It better be the Sixers over the Phillies.
Right. Especially if they're going to go with this young core and say, hey, we're going to let this Embiid thing run its course, and then this next wave's taking over for you. That 28 pick, and then obviously what they have right now. It's interesting because I did the math on this for the last 5 seasons that we've been here in Philadelphia.
All right, what do you
sports.
got?
If you count the buys, the Sixers, Phillies, and Flyers combined have advanced 8 rounds. The Eagles by themselves have advanced 7 rounds.
Ooh. So even with the Super Bowls.
Right, because they've got the exit, the first year Sirianni, the exit in 23 and the exit in 25. Those are all one and dones. They don't advance a single round. Now, postseason appearances for the franchises, 5 for the Eagles, and the Phillies do a really good job. The Phillies and Sixers do a good job of carrying the Flyers past the Eagles.
Yeah, it's easy to make. In basketball, it's easy to make the playoffs. It should be easy
Right.
in hockey.
So we're at a very interesting point where even with the Eagles' success, the other teams have outdone them. But depending how you feel about Embiid, depending about how you feel about the window for the Phillies, and if you think the Flyers are able to figure it out, like all of a sudden there's a legitimate case to be made that the Eagles over the next 5 years could outdo postseason-wise the other 3 teams.
Bill Colarulo sent us their Twitter poll from yesterday. Which team has the most exciting future? And it's the Eagles. Yeah, but like obviously.
Right.
It's almost, I mean, that's obvious that the Eagles are above and beyond everybody. Is everybody else equal the Eagles as far as friggin' appearances and wins? I don't know.
Could the Eagles lap everyone combined? It's not just lapping everyone 1 for 1. This is 1 for 3.
Sixers 25%, Phillies 12%. And the 25% is, and that's the most notable thing, is that they recognize the young players, and that's something to be excited about. Phillies, you have some old players. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about the future, I think you have to quantify what you're talking about. But if you're just talking about the next 5 years, I think the Phillies have more success over the next 5 years, but it's not by much. It better not be by much. Sixers got to start kicking this into gear. 610-632-0975, 610-632-0975. Dutsy in the back, put up a YouTube poll. Let's get some live chat react on what we're talking about here. We'll do that. We have your phone calls coming up as well. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Fly.
Marks.
I'm waiting to offend someone.
Jump. Why?
Because I'm going off a list from years that I wasn't alive for, and I'm sure someone's like, actually, this person had one more hit than.
Well, that's what if there was a big Crisscross fan out there, they could say there was another Crisscross song. It doesn't mean there weren't one-hit wonders. They were.
Yeah.
Every time you play This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan, I'll have people that message me or email me and say that Montel Jordan had a bunch of hits like this, and this. It's like, all right, fine. You're a big Montel Jordan fan. All right. Whatever. There's different levels of one-hit wonders, I guess. I don't know.
There was also, I'm getting confused here with some of these lists I'm going through to try and pull because there's good features. Like there's notable names that are featured on the song, but it's the person that's a one-hit wonder.
Like who?
Like, I think the song was Look Alive that I think it's Block Boy JB and Drake's featured on it. It's like, well, Drake obviously isn't a one-hit wonder, but for Block Boy JB, that's the one
He
song.
can be a one-hit wonder.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. It's just an interesting line. It's a,
Well, what's his other song?
No idea.
Yeah, well,
I got nothing. For it. It's like, but people would know that it's a Drake song. They wouldn't even know that.
Sure.
They're like, oh, yeah, Drake's on that song. And that guy that people would think it's a Drake song.
The only reason why they know the guy or they even would know who he would be because of Drake.
Right. And you play the song, people think I'm calling Drake a one-hit wonder. And
correct.
Given my fandom for Kendrick Lamar, someone could assume that I'm trying to take a shot at Drake, and I'm not.
Is that what you guys do?
No, I don't take shots
That's
at
a new
Drake.
Biggie and Tupac thing?
I'm not taking any shots at Drake.
Well, I'm saying in general, that's what if you like Drake, you don't like. Okay.
Of course. People that like to, dance around in a club, go ahead, go listen to Drake. Yeah.
So is that who listens to Drake? Club people?
Yeah, of course. If you need a good, poppy tune that was written by 20 people and Drake just became the performer for it, yeah, that's fine. You do your thing.
And if you're vaping, is that who you listen to Kendrick Lamar?
No. Vaping? What?
I don't know. Like smoking weed. I just assume everybody uses vape pen these.
Oh, yeah. Vape pen. No, I'm not
I don't know. Is that the Kendrick Lamar audience? Are they more chillers?
Yeah, but I would imagine you go with actual green.
Really?
Vape pen. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't. Again, I'm an old guy, Ray.
Yeah,
I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know. I didn't know people actually did the flower of cannabis.
Yeah,
I just thought you used
it's
the
a thing.
oils.
People still actually go use the flower. Yeah.
Well, I smell anytime I go into the city. I smell
It's
it
all,
like
yeah,
it's everywhere.
Why do you think I walk around so much, Johnny? I'm calm and easy every single day.
All right. By the way, we will have a new segment coming up. If we just need a couple of more of the podcast reviews, Middays with Mark's podcast reviews. We've had a couple new ones.
Ooh.
So if we can get another one or two, again, when you listen to our podcast, really you're listening to the show on demand. We break it down by hours, just wherever you get your podcasts. I think especially Apple Music, we might have been having a problem with one of the sites where we have the podcast. But I know I use Apple Music. So wherever you get your podcasts, just give us a nice 5-star review and then give us your honest assessment. Like I saw one that was complimentary of the show and Ray, but it had a comment about you in it.
Another one?
Yeah. It wasn't mean or anything.
Yikes.
It just described you. So definitely if you check out our podcast, leave us a nice 5-star review.
I can't go anywhere on the internet anymore.
And if you do, it could make the podcast review segment where we have our AI voice whatever the podcast review was. There you go. All right, Ray, what is the text line chiming in about all of this? I think a lot of people I don't like making topics or questions where people are all on one side, but I almost feel like it'd be very difficult for the other three teams to not have more playoff success combined than the Eagles would in 5 years. Because the Eagles were just in 2 Super Bowls, and they still had less playoff wins or less round wins than the other teams. The other teams got to get better, don't they? The Flyers have to win a playoff series in the next 5 years.
Okay, but if you're looking at this from the Flyers are wandering in the middle of a frozen desert and the Phillies window has been shut and you hate Joel Embiid, which are all 3 pretty common takes you hear, whether it be on our airwaves or through our text line on
or
the
me,
phones.
Yeah.
So if you look at those 3 ideas put together and you're like, hey, I've watched this Eagles team go to 5 straight postseasons. It's going back, the last 10 years? They've missed the playoffs, twice? Doug's first year and Doug's last year? You could really put an argument together that it's not so much I need the Eagles to win another Super Bowl. I just need them to make 2 NFC championship games in the next 5 years, and they're probably in a good spot to outdo the rest of the teams.
Yeah, but they needed a Super Bowl win to get 4 of the wins.
Right.
4 of the 7. If I look at the Phillies the next 5 years, and this is being conservative. It's not even being glass half full. 3 wins, 2 or 3 is being very conservative. Because if they're on a wild card round, they should beat the team that they're playing.
Right.
Just based on their payroll and their star older players. Maybe not every year, but they should. And if they were to advance to an NLCS or they were to win 2 rounds, there you go.
Right. You should feel good about that. Now, if the Braves win the division and it's Mets Phillies and they got to go up to Citi Field and they lose that series and we're all going into next year like, wow, what a disaster that Phillies season was. You could be.
All right, well, give me your number on the Phillies.
Over the next couple of years?
5 years.
Over the next 5 years, they win 4 rounds.
Okay, so you're even one more than me.
Yeah.
All right, Sixers.
They win.
About the same, right? 5 years, you're telling me they can't win a round, not every year, but almost year? You're telling me they can't win a second round series? They're never going to do that? At some point, they have to do it.
Well, then you'd be probably more than 4. Because that would be 3 in 1, or that'd be 2 in 1 year, and they don't get to that. Probably 3 for the Sixers, 7, and then the Flyers. You hope they walk into 1, and that's 8 series right there. Versus
the Eagles just had 7, and they won a Super Bowl, and they went back to another.
But do they have 3 one-and-dones in them in the next?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Like, there's a case that the floor for the Eagles versus the floor for the rest of the teams is actually higher.
Yeah.
It almost justifies when we have the conversation about, Sports Talk Radio talks so much about the Eagles. If you look over the last 5 years, it's not even so much we're just a football town. It's that the football team has outdone everyone in the town.
But the NFL is also it's the most talkable. And basketball is very talkable, but the NFL's the king. You got the draft, you have free agency, you have the actual season, you have the playoffs. It really gives you everything. There's only a couple months a year where you can't if you're not talking NFL 9 to 10 months out of the season where, like, that's the majority of things you're talking about as far as then you're probably trying not to talk about the NFL. If you're in a city like that, right? Like, you're in a city that has a team, Baltimore, Philly, New York's a little bit different, but you know what I mean.
Right.
NFL-centric cities, you talk it year-round. But it's most of what you do and you're right. So you're having a run by a team that's never been seen before by the Eagles in a town that lives and dies with the Eagles. Yeah, you're going to be talking about it all the time.
Yeah. Our early returns, because Dutsy did put up the poll on YouTube. If you want to go to our YouTube, 97.5 The Fanatic, subscriber count's going up. 31.3 now.
See that?
Hoping to get to 32 very soon. Who will win more playoff rounds in the next 5 years? Right now, the Eagles leading the way at 54%. Phillies, Sixers, Flyers combined just 46% of the vote.
That's close, though.
It's close. And it almost seems like a no-duh question. Like, no duh, the 3 teams should be able to combine over the next 5 years for more playoff rounds. That's what I was thinking about this on my ride home yesterday from here. And I'm just sitting there like, this should be an easy 100% yes for these 3 teams. Why can't I believe these 3 teams are going to be able to put more than just the local football team?
Well, if you have an above-average hockey team and an above-average basketball team, you're winning 1 to 2 series a year out of both of those teams. So you potentially are getting at least 2 series wins, maybe 3, maybe 4. And that's a year. If you have the Sixers, and we know what they've done the last couple of years, you have the Flyers who are non-existent. This is what happens. All right, coming up, who was the most disappointing Philadelphia Eagle of 2025? And is he going to be back next year? If you're thinking who I'm thinking. We'll discuss. Adam Schefter had some thoughts on A.J. Brown as well. Did A.J. Brown have the most disappointing year of any Philadelphia Eagle? We'll discuss coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Doubleheader, double wins. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Sixers won last night out at Golden State over the Warriors. They cruised to victory, 113-94 win over Golden State. VJ Edgecombe with a big game in that one, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists for him. Now the Sixers, who were in L.A. on Monday, have to go back to L.A. for a Thursday night game against the Lakers. That game at 10 o'clock. You can listen to it right here on the Fanatic. The Flyers got a 4-2 win last night over the Capitals. Owen Tippett, Jamie Drysdale amongst those who scored goals in the game. Dan Vladar, 26 saves at a big game for him.
At the center ice. Here comes Washington right back in. Duhaim's got a man going to the net. Oh, a great save by Dan Vladar, closing the 5-hole as Lapierre tried to tuck him through him, and Vladar said nothing doing.
Flyers have the Senators on Thursday at 7 o'clock at Xfinity Mobile Arena. We're just days away from the Super Bowl. Mike Gill will join us from Radio Row coming up at 1 o'clock to break down everything going on out there and talk a little bit of everything in Philadelphia sports. This update's brought to you by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. This Saturday, it's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship at Xfinity Mobile Arena with Knuckle Mania 6, featuring a heavyweight title fight, plus Conor McGregor and many more. Tickets at bkfc.com. I'm Ray Dunner, your home for the Sixers. Flyers, best birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app. Rockwell.
Yeah, not Maxwell.
One-hit wonder, obviously.
And I think he made some money off, and who knows what the contracts are or whatever, but this has been in commercials and things like that, movies.
That's how I know it. I always thought it was a very savvy commercial jingle, and as it turns out, it was actually a hit.
Oh, big hit.
Yeah.
I have it in my Amazon Music on one of my playlists.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I like it.
It's a solid tune. This was a request, too, from the text line.
Was it really?
Jim from Souderton was like, Michael Jackson was in Somebody's Watching Me, but it was a one-hit wonder. I was like, that's a good point.
So you know what? It's a great idea. Text line, 610-632-0975. Send your request to Ray. We'll be like an old radio station.
I get to be a DJ for a day.
Yeah, do we do the shout-out segment at noon?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Everybody calls in and just gives their shout-outs?
If you're right now riding in a rideshare, because that's the new one. If you're in an Uber or a Lyft, because those are the people that drive every day and you want to build that audience of people that drive every day, That's who you want to start shouting out. That's the new one. Hey, Uber driver.
Anytime you're in an Uber, Cindy Webster used to do this. My friend Cindy Webster used to do this because she would always be around the city in Ubers, and a lot of times they'll have sports radio on, and she would text me be like, they're listening to you right now, and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna give them a shout out, and then you give the shout out. When we really think we're saying like, hey, thanks for listening to somebody, it makes their year a lot of times if you shout somebody out driving around.
I always check their preset as I get into the Uber and see if like we're on the preset or see if sports radio's on the preset, and then I do a reconnaissance mission.
See, nothing makes me happier, and I don't take Ubers very often. Nothing makes me happier when I know that this isn't a sports radio listener, and I can just sit back and do nothing.
You're John Marks. I'm already done. It's a lot easier for me because I could go do recon. Like, oh, what do you listen to? What do you like? They don't recognize my voice. They don't recognize me.
No, they could recognize your voice.
Ooh, but they haven't.
They would have to be listening. Let me, if it's an Uber, if there's an Uber driver out there that's listening, 610-632-0975, 610-632-0975. Do you want to call? Briefly, we'll get you right on. They would recognize your voice in a second. Back in, I want to say it was 2000, we were on FM at the time. I went into a 7-Eleven I was working with Mike. I went into a 7-Eleven in Abington on Old York Road. And you wouldn't have thought, based on the gentleman who was not of American descent, that he was a big 97.5 The Fanatic listener. Mm. I walked in, and this is before. Now people know what we look like a lot more than in 2009. Right? Like we're out there, it's digital and everything else. And whatever I was saying to him, he's like, hold on, I know your voice. And I'm like, you do? And then he said, I listened to The Fanatic. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And like, I don't think he knew my name, or I don't remember. But he recognized my voice. So
So you're telling me all these recon missions that I've been on, they know that it's me trying to get information about me.
If they listen to the station. Otherwise, they just think that you're. So what do they normally say, the Uber drivers, when you're asking them questions?
Oh, I listen sometimes. A lot of people bring up, I remember Anthony, Mike, the whole thing. They start giving me the history of the station.
They give you the big picture.
Right.
Guys.
It's like, so what do you listen to now? Oh, yeah, I listen pretty much all day, more in the Eagles season. I get a lot of the standard, sometimes you guys go over the top, because then eventually they're like, well, why are you so interested in this? And I got to break the fourth wall in that one. But,
All right.
It's a good informational session.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Uber drivers, DoorDash drivers. Love the DoorDash driver.
Speaking of which,
yep.
DoorDash owes me $72. I found out a couple weeks ago. I think it was when you were sick, about a week and a half ago. They sent me a notice that I'm owed $72 back when I was a Dasher, like 3 years ago, that I never got paid out.
You were a Dasher?
Yeah, it was right after college. I was looking to make some money. It didn't last very long, clearly. And I didn't realize I wasn't paid out my $72, I guess, for the last that they owed me.
Plus interest?
You think I'm getting interest? I'm lucky if I get like a cheesesteak for free out of this. But I have to go through like I got to go through the billing place. I got to go through them to get my money. Is it worth it for $72 to go on hold with like 3 different companies to try and secure that?
All right, so I'm fascinated. I considered it because I was working after I left WRP. I was working like part-time. For a while, I really wasn't doing much of anything. And I had savings and whatever, but you don't want to dive into that savings. So I'm like, all right, do I want to be an Uber driver? I really don't want to put the miles on my car. Right. I like the idea of the driver because I'm always fascinated when I would be in the car with an Uber driver and they're talkative and I like it. And they'll tell me like, well, my night started off tonight. I was here and then I was in Brooklyn at 4 p.m. Because then I was at JFK Airport and then I worked my way down. So wherever the rides take them, that's where they go.
Right.
Some people are more selective. They don't want to do that. So I'm like, Mal, that's really, really interesting. Larry David back in the day used to drive a cab in New York City, and he wrote a lot of his comedy based on a lot of like the random stuff, and Seinfeld, a lot of that stuff probably came from there. So I was like, do I do that? And and then my wife was like, no, you don't need to be out driving an Uber. Then I was like, what about DoorDash? I probably would have had to start doing it if I didn't find the job fast enough, but I found the job. But yeah, so how long did you DoorDash for? Like a couple months?
Probably a month plus.
That's not a bad job for a student or somebody that has limited time to try to make money or whatever.
Well, it was great because I'm in the car and I wanted to get into this industry. And what are you doing while you're driving around? You're just listening. So it's just picking up on what the industry is about and all that, what everybody's talking about.
I also considered Amazon, where you can go and you can do your own Amazon deliveries. I forget what it's called. Amazon Flex, maybe. And you sign up for it, and then depending on, they just give you a load of stuff. And then you go out and you deliver it. You have to go there, there's different times. You can go there at 3 a.m. and then be done by 7 a.m., which I also consider doing.
Yeah.
But again, it's like wear and tear. And with that, it's like a lot of breaks because you're doing, you're going one house and you're breaking, getting out, going to put it up, put it back in drive. I just,
I would, if all goes, a certain way, I'd probably end up a DoorDash driver again. You probably would be, I'd probably be delivering to your house.
May.
I did it out there. I did it out, I could have delivered to your house.
Yeah, because they never kid. I always they leave it outside.
Yeah. I for all you know, I could have.
I've kept from COVID when it's like just leave it outside. I've never changed it, so that people just still do the same.
My
thing.
apartment building, I need to take it.
All right, so I thought it was interesting. Reuben Frank put on NBC Sports Philadelphia, and he had a list that he started from 10, worked it all the way down to 1, and he said counting down the 10 most disappointing Eagles in 2025. So Ray, right now you've read this article just like I have, but who had the most disappointing year in 2025 for the Eagles?
Maybe I had unrealistic expectations for him, but the fact that Cam Jurgens took a step back from being what we thought was one of the best centers in football to a guy that felt like a turnstile for most of the season, that was massively disappointing, especially with the way I thought that this offense was going to be constructed.
Yeah, he comes to my head first.
Yeah, him. If you want to go Landon Dickerson, the interior of that offensive line, all of them. Mailata could also be on that list.
Maybe he took a step back, but I didn't feel like you had said with Jurgens. It felt like he was a turnstile. Toth came in and was better.
Toth was our MVP.
He should have won the award internally, but I didn't feel like that with Mailata. I agree with you. I maybe look at Mailata a little bit differently. Like he's not a top 3 tackle, not a top 3, but he's still an above average player. But anyway, so here's Reuben Frank's top 10, starting with 10. Grant Calcaterra. All right, I mean it's just 6th round draft pick who hasn't developed into what you want, but I wasn't expecting Grant Calcaterra to be this great player.
Backup tight end, you got to block though, and that was a problem.
Yeah, but the Eagles know he can't block. I don't know. I mean, he is what he is. He didn't used to be this great blocker that just decided he wasn't going to block anymore. I don't know. Reed Blankenship 9.
That playoff game is enough for me to put him on that list.
Hadn't thought of it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it went from exciting whites to underwhelming white pretty quick.
But guys are going to get beat. Guys are going to get beat, man. Did you think Reed Blankenship was as good as Coop?
No. Of course
Did you think he was a solid starter?
I always thought that he was the second best safety in a tandem. If he was your second best safety in a tandem, you're in a good spot. This year he had to be the best again.
Reed Blankenship is a solid starter. And when the rest of your defense are a bunch of studs, he's going to look pretty good. But sometimes you're going to get exposed with that.
Yeah.
And if Reed Blankenship wants to be paid like he's a top 5 safety, because he's a free agent, if he wants to get paid like he's a top 5 safety, it's going to be elsewhere.
Goodbye.
Yeah, if he takes a team-friendly deal, which is, hey, I know that I'm not best safety in the league and I have very fortunate circumstances, but I want to be here, then he'll be here. But he was 9. Jalen Hurts, number 8.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not high enough for me.
He's got to crack the top 10. He's
got to crack the top 10. I know Patullo's to build an excuse, and that's fine, but I never allow quarterbacks to get the total pass on anything. Sorry.
Yeah.
8 Hurts. 7 Keely Ringo. He was anointed the starter at the. I didn't believe it.
Internally, that might be the biggest disappointment for them.
Yeah, but did they really believe it?
They were forced to.
So Andy Reid used to say that Mark Simoneau's he's going to be great. Mark Simoneau's going to replace Trott. He didn't believe it. But what is he going to say at that point? And then you make other arrangements. The best thing Howie Roseman did was bring in Adoree Jackson. And as president of his fan club, when I saw the move, it's like, okay, he started last year for the Giants. If Ringo goes totally south and they can't figure anything else, there's your starter. And he was the starter for the entire season.
Right. Think about what they did to try and address that position.
Yeah, Ringo deserves it. the list for sure.
Yeah, he deserves the list. I just think internally they are massively disappointed that was a swing that they had to keep continuing to try and fill. It's like there's got to be something better out there than a Dory Jackson if it's not going to be Keely Ringo. It's like, nope, there wasn't.
Is he back again this year, Dory?
Well, open up your checkbook, man. That big season that he had.
He might get $2 million this year, not $1 million. Number 6, Jake Elliott. Yeah.
6 also feels right for the position that he plays, but in terms of the disappointment based upon expectation, higher than that.
Yeah, but this has kind of been what he's been the last few years, no?
Well, yeah, I guess going at the end of last year's postseason, we were all talking about now the Super Bowl postseason. We were talking about how he could be a concern, and he was nails again in the postseason.
Yeah, it's true.
And then he regressed. Is he an Eagle next year?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so I'll bank the show sheet of the game that we complained about him.
I think he is.
I mean,
I mean, maybe they think. I mean, financially, it doesn't make a lot of success doesn't make a lot of sense to get rid of him. I think because of dead cap and things like that. He's not, and he hasn't been that bad. Him winning the Super Bowl, and I know that's 8 years ago today, but he is a clutch kicker. Now, if he screws it up in the playoffs, I'll get rid of him in a second. Jake Elliott 6, Nolan Smith 5, and I like where Ruben's going here. Absolutely. This was the guy that was coming off a Super Bowl year where he looked like, I never looked at him as a double-digit sack guy. 8, making plays all over the place, a lot of energy, blowing up runs. Right, like being that second defensive end, you still need to get your best edge rusher, but still being that really good second defensive end. He went backwards this year, man.
Oh, yeah. Big time. And like he was supposed to be, it was going to be, okay, they bring someone in, Brandon Graham returns, and Nolan Smith's now healthy. And it was, wow, it's good to see Jalen Phillips.
And he was hurt again.
Yep. And now, Nolan Smith's there. That's nice. Everyone else seemed to be doing the job, and there was not a lot that I remember of the second half of that season being like, yeah, Nolan Smith made that play, and it was a game changer for this team.
3 sacks in 10 games. He had 4 in the postseason last year. He had a big postseason on the way to the Super Bowl. But in 45 regular season games, he has 10.5 sacks. Bad, not a great year. Number 4, Jalen Carter. Was not expecting to see this one. And he was injured. And Ruben brings up the spitting incident, which should be considered. Was he a top 5 disappointment on the team? Did he take the next step to where everybody's saying that's the best defensive player in football? No. But every game that they played, what was the commentator saying about Jalen Carter? Wasn't saying he's a disappointment.
No. Maybe a disappointment when you start to think about the contract they're going to have to give him. Like, all right, if he wants to be the highest paid interior defensive lineman in the league, is that really a season worthy of giving you that contract? And not for nothing, we're talking about you being in shape, and we're worried that you're going to get yourself thrown out of a game as the highest paid interior defensive lineman. That's an issue.
Right. For all Michkov's coming in the camp out of shape, and I said it earlier, Vic Fangio called Carter out for it. Now, he wasn't still talking about it in October and November, but initially he called him out for coming in and out of shape. That's troubling that Jalen Carter would come in. Now, it's after a Super Bowl, so maybe it's just he got a late start on it, and he said, you know what, F it. I'll just get ready in training camp.
Yeah, or, hey.
Not good.
Let's enjoy a little bit. Won the Super Bowl.
All right, it's very weird. Number 3, Landon Dickerson. Is that more injury or what? It's got to be because he was so banged up.
Just to be.
Just so you know, we do Take Tuesdays. After the Eagles drafted Landon Dickerson, I was so pissed because they were drafting a guy that was never healthy. Look at his college career.
Mm-hmm.
Never healthy. And they used a high second-round draft pick on him. Now, he had been healthy up until recent. Even if he was a little bit banged up, he was playing. But this was the guy that was never on the field, and he had been healthy. And when he's healthy, he's one of the best interior linemen in football. He's just had a trouble. That whole line last year looked off.
Mm-hmm.
The entire line looked off the whole season. And it probably was because of the long and how many carries Saquon Barkley had. But Landon Dickerson, number 3, you agree?
Yeah, if it's not going to be Cam Jurgens, it'll be him.
Cam Jurgens, number 2, and burying the lead at number 1, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, the most disappointing year of any Philadelphia Eagle. Ray Dunn, do you agree with that?
No. But I was very disappointed in the way with the way things went with the A.J. Brown storyline all season. Like, he was miserable, obviously. We became miserable talking about how miserable he was. And it just kind of cast a shadow on everything going on. He wasn't wrong, but the avenues in which he took to do it led us every week to be trying to figure out, oh, is he going on Blue Sky this week? Should we all sign up for Threads again? Like,
LinkedIn.
Yeah, where are we going to get exactly the news on what A.J. Brown doesn't like about this offense? So I can't say I think a 1,000-yard season for a receiver is a disappointment, but
Sure it is. For him? Sure it is.
yeah, but how much is that him and how much is that the offense?
Patullo gets
Hurts,
the blame. Hurts,
Sirianni,
that's fine.
Yeah, you go down the line.
He was awful at times last year.
I guess if I'm holding the playoff game against Breed Blankenship, I got to hold the playoff game against
He was
A.J. Brown.
awful.
That's fair.
If he plays the A.J. Brown that we saw in previous years, they win the game. How about that? I don't know if he's 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. We can
He's
have
in
that,
there.
We can have that discussion. He's high on the list because not only with the whole every week he has different complaints on social media and the owner's got to give him hugs and tell him he doesn't have to apologize and it's okay. Even if his teammates like him and understand it and they say, well, AJ's coming from a good spot, that can't be good for the quarterback. The confidence in the quarterback. And the fact that he had, not just in the playoff game, he had big drops. And even bigger than the drops or the plays that he didn't make that we had seen him and other top wide receivers make. When you're Justin Jefferson and you're A.J. Brown and you're the top guys, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, when you're the top guys, you're paid to make the tough plays. You're paid to make the big plays. And you can blame on it all you want on the offense. I saw plenty of times that either the quarterback didn't see him or the player didn't make a play. And that's not on Kevin Patullo. Hey, everybody that wants to blame Kevin Patullo for Jalen Hurts, do we need to go back and look at all the plays where there's guys that are wide open and Jalen can't see him or doesn't throw him because he doesn't have confidence or rolls out to the right? And the same thing with A.J. Brown, where he's giving up on routes and he's dropping the ball and he's not making contested catches. It was a really disappointing season for A.J. Brown. You win Super Bowls when A.J. Brown looks like A.J. Brown, the All-Pro. You lose in first rounds of games when A.J. Brown is dropping big passes where you need it. And who knows what happens in games like that. And we had Brandon Lee Gouton, Bleeding Green Nation, and I asked him what's the percent chances that A.J. Brown's back. And he said, well, I'll give you the percent chance that, or what did I say? It's what's the percentage chance that they trade A.J. Brown? And he said, well, I'll give you the percentage chance that A.J. Brown's not back, 100%. And Brandon's been on the beat a long time, and he's not a hot taker. And he said that with more confidence than anything he's ever said to me in his life. He will not be back. And then now Radio Row and all the media down there, now it's become a diner routine. He just makes up something and puts it out there. Yeah, I think he's gone. And they're going to have to trade him. Ray, I know you don't want it to happen, and I'm not telling you it's 100% like BLG did, but it's got to be 80.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
or higher.
We were talking about the stadium a couple days ago, and I said that I'm not going to be the one standing in front of the bulldozer here. I'm standing in front of a bulldozer right now. Like,
with AJ?
With AJ. Yeah, I realize where I'm at. I'm like, no, please don't take my beloved cafe in my hometown. The bulldozer's coming for the building regardless. I could just stand here and say I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen. I don't think you're a better football team. I get it. It was a very annoying experience to watch him on your football team this season. Giving up on the routes, the constant social media posts. I had to go figure out who the hell Janky Rondo was. Like, it was a very...
heavy lifting for Ray.
Yeah. It's, anytime I'm on Twitch, that's a problem, all right? With all due respect to...
Janky Rodman was his streamer friend.
Yeah. He was just having a conversation with his friend. Publicly. To millions of people.
Yeah, right.
It's fine. It's not, though. This whole thing, obviously, I don't want him off my football team because of the talent he is, but I realize, and I'm not going to, again, I'm standing in front of the bulldozer here. I realize the odds here. When Brandon Lee Gouton says 0%, I think I actually just fell back in my seat like, oh, all right, that's what's going to happen.
He's going to go. Now how much can you get for him?
And that's a problem.
Well, listen, Adam Schefter talked about it this morning on with the guys. We'll play that for you coming up, 610-632-0975. And the question of A.J. Brown, because you know what you could say? A.J., I understand what you're saying. I get it. We're bringing you back because the second-round draft pick that we're being offered or the third-round draft pick that you're being offered, we're not trading you for that. And that's where you got to ask yourself, do you have to trade him because you just need to move on because he's unhappy and it's just too much? Or do you still value him on the field? You do have a new offensive coordinator. Come on. We'll talk about it. 610-632-0975. It's Middays with Marks. 97.5 The Fanatic. Don't go anywhere. All right. You got to check out my my Instagram page and my Twitter page, at John, Jon, Marks, M-A-R-K-S Media, at John Marks Media, because that's where you will find my Bet Parks pick of the day. I do it 4 days a week where I come out and I do a pick or I give analysis on the line, and that's what I've been doing with the big game. But listen, Bet Parks is the one and only online sportsbook and casino that I would ever use. I endorse it. So download the Bet Parks app right now. Your bets on the big game right now could win you season tickets to your favorite local pro team. That's right, pro football team. It's the big game season ticket giveaway from Bet Parks. The Bet Parks online sportsbook app has you covered for the big game. Right now, Seattle remains a 4.5-point favorite against New England. I believe they're minus 220 on the money line. I like Seattle in the game, minus 4.5. All new and existing Bet Parks customers earn one entry to win season tickets on every $25 they bet on the big game. Your big game wagers get you entries for your chance to win 2027 season tickets to your home state's pro football team. For all Bet Parks new and existing users, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan. So a $25 wager gets you registered for a chance to win 2027 season tickets. Either in Philly with the Birds or the Black and Gold in Pittsburgh or Baltimore. How about that? If you're in one of the other cities. So check it out. Terms and conditions apply. See betparks.com, USB 21, and located in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
2 games, 2 wins. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. And last night out on the West Coast, the Sixers continued the West Coast swing with another victory. They win on back-to-back nights, this time out in Golden State over the Warriors, 113-94. VJ Edgecombe, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Here's a big jumper late for him.
103-86 Sixers, 2 seconds. VJ hangs, fires, puts it up and in. An incredible shot by Edgecombe. And the Sixers lead 105-86. VJ with 23.
After playing in L.A. Monday night, they're going back to L.A. Thursday night. This time it's Lakers' 10 o'clock game Thursday night. You can listen to it right here on The Fanatic. The Flyers won 4-2 last night over the Capitals. Owen Tippett, Jamie Drysdale amongst those who scored goals in the win for the Flyers. Dan Vladar had 26 saves in the victory. They've now got the Senators tomorrow night at 7 o'clock as they get closer to the Olympic break. And we're just days away from the Super Bowl. Mike Gill will join us at 1 o'clock to talk about everything going on out there at Radio Row and what he's feeling about everything in Philadelphia sports. This update is brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call a 24-hour victim helpline 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the Sixers, Flyers, best bird dog in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
I don't know this one. Must be newer.
It's surprisingly old.
What year?
2009.
Really?
Yes. I was like, oh, this came out while I was in high school. It did not. I just remember listening to this in high school, being like, wow, college is going to rock. And, yeah, it's a good song. Apparently, the artist, because I was doing all the research in the break, Asher Roth is local.
No.
Yeah. So if we got the request on the text line from Asher Roth, please reveal yourself, because this was a great song.
Could he be the official rapper of the show?
I would appreciate that.
Maybe he could rap it, because back with Mike's old show, I had PR the Great. He did Mike's intros. And PR was a really gifted, I don't even want to say hip-hop artist, because I don't know how professionally he did it, right? Because he always had a job, and that was never his career.
Right, just nice.
It was really good at it, and he probably dabbled in it a little bit, and we still stay in touch. He was messaged me on Instagram not long ago. But yeah, so he used to do the opens. They were really good. He would come in here and we would produce it. He would rap, and then I would produce it. The studio downstairs on the third floor, I don't know if you were down there back in the old studios, but there was this closet production area, and that's where we do it. Anyway, so A.J. Brown, second-round draft pick, right? You doing it?
If he tells me I'm not suiting up in that uniform ever again, yeah.
Buffalo Bills. It's end of towards the end of the second round. So I think I'm going to need a sweetener and another mid-round draft pick. But an end of the second round pick isn't a ton for him. But Adam Schefter was asked about A.J. Brown today on With the Guys. Here's what he said.
Everyone's going to be motivated to upgrade their roster. So what's the best way to do that? If you can't do it in free agency, you're going to be more anxious to do it in a trade. But if you're trading A.J. Brown, I don't know what the return would be on an A.J. Brown. I mean, I personally think the Eagles would want a 1 if they even entertained it. I don't know if they will. At least a 1, if that's the route you want to go. But it has to be a team that feels like it's close and that A.J. Brown would make the difference. And again, that's if Philadelphia wound up trading him, which is still up in the air. It could happen, but it wouldn't shock me if it didn't.
I'm sure they want a first, but it's all about can you really expect a first at this point? I don't think so, but if Buffalo's interested, if the Patriots say we need them, there's a number of teams, the Ravens, there's a number of teams that need an A.J. Brown that have legitimate chances of winning a Super Bowl. And I don't know if I would want to trade him in the conference, but you can does the 49ers need a wide receiver? I don't know if they want to spend that kind of money on him. I don't know if I want to trade A.J. Brown to the Niners.
No, don't let Shanahan figure that out.
I'm saying. So there should be enough teams that have some level of interest to where you can get a second-round draft pick. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Just getting a second-rounder, though, does feel kind of light.
Yeah, is A.J. Brown really the player that we think he is? See, here's what I think. I think A.J. Brown in another spot, you could see the 1,400-yard A.J. Brown. He's reinvigorated. He's happy. The A.J. Brown I think the A.J. Brown that we saw last year, maybe you can get a little bit better, but it's over. And if you bring him back, aren't you kind of expecting the same player? Because it wasn't just about physically what his tools were on the field. I don't know if he's lost a step or not. He would just shut down in games where he was, for whatever reason, he wasn't happy. He was dropping passes. We've never seen him do this stuff before.
If you trade him for a 2, it's proof to me that you realize there was no path forward.
Yeah.
If he just goes for only a second-round pick, it's the Eagles throwing their hands up in the air saying, yeah. And then the Shefty thing. 1, shout out to Shefty for getting up at 5, whatever, to go on with them out there.
Right.
I forgot about that when he was on the phone. I was like, was Shefty out partying on Radio Row last night? Like, what's the deal? And then I realized it's 5 a.m. out there. It's not that he's, had one too many the night before. It's that he's, actually 5 in the morning. But the idea they're not going to entertain it, come on. This is probably one of the biggest talking points now that the offensive coordinator's been settled inside that building.
Well, they kind of have to entertain it.
They have to.
Right.
He's forced their hand to.
And even if he says he's not giving you a yes, trade me, it's fairly obvious that he's not happy here. And bringing him back, you're inviting more of the same. The answer could be, well, they have a new offensive coordinator. Yeah, so what? It doesn't mean you have a different quarterback. And if he's at odds over Jalen based on Jalen being limited as a quarterback, all right, you can look at it and say, well, they have a new offensive coordinator in here. Or you could say, I want to go to that place. I already know what that quarterback is. I don't know if he wants to play in Buffalo. I don't know if he wants to play in New England. I don't know. I don't know what AJ wants, really. But
He also has to figure out what he wants.
yeah, I think it's pretty clear that he doesn't want to be here.
Right. Yeah, but what are you prioritizing next? Have you gotten your ring and now you're just going somewhere where you're going to put up a ton of yards?
No, he wants to win.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to the Jets because the Jets are willing to overpay and give him all this money. Would that be a good idea? I mean, the Jets may do it because they're dummies.
Yeah, let's do it. Sign me up.
Yeah, I think it's going to a playoff team / kind of a contender. Let's go to Rob. Rob is in Minnesota. Rob called us once before. What's up, Rob?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, man, the AJ thing, listen, I understand addition by subtraction. I get it. But unless you're going to tell me that we have some new wide receiver coaches that can actually develop a wide receiver, because I don't know what history you know of the Eagles wide receivers, but we don't have a history of drafting, well, nor developing wide receivers. Devontae Smith was a ready-made wide receiver when he came out of college.
Agreed.
So was Deshaun Jackson.
Agreed.
After that, you got to go back to like Fred Barnett and Calvin Williams. I mean,
well, Macklin was a first. Macklin was a first-round draft pick. I guess what I would say, Rob, is that like if they're not talented enough on their own, don't expect the Eagles to be able to develop them because we've seen the Steelers. Certain teams develop position players, right?
Yes.
Like for example, the Eagles are good with the line. The Steelers aren't great with the line. But the Steelers can develop edge rushers and they can develop wide receivers. They can take a wide receiver in the third round. The guy will be a Hall of Famer. The Eagles can't do that. They've never done that. So it's concerning.
You don't have a quarterback. I love Jalen. But right now, he has not shown to take that next step to where you can start to, he can take a lesser wide receiver and make him better. You know,
yeah.
And when you had that, and when you add in the fact that you at the bottom of the passing offenses for the last 3 to 4 years, no wide receiver free agent would want to come here unless you overpay him. It's just a real bad situation where I just think you just need to figure out one more year if you can make it work. If you can't, honestly, if it don't work, let's be realistic. They're gonna blow the whole team up anyway. You know.
Yeah. No, you know what they're doing. Good to talk to you again, Rob. Thank you. If he comes back and it's more of the same, that's on the Eagles. You can't bring him back and the same thing happened where he's sitting in his locker and he's mad and then he's doing cryptic tweets or he's putting out Bible verses or things like that. At this point, I think you have to expect that. And I'm over it. It's time for both parties to move on. AJ will be a lot happier going somewhere else. I think that he can get kind of the energy back for it. Just he was out there on the field going through the motions. He wasn't divorced yet, wasn't happily married. He was just indifferent about everything. He wasn't mad. AJ was never angry, yelling and screaming on the field, was he? But it's Sirianni
at the end right there. Yeah, yeah.
Fine line.
Those two were having there, but
this offense stinks, and I went out, and this is not good enough. He did this for 2 straight years.
He hit a point of joking about it. I mean, we talked about Janky Rondo. Like he was joking about the Eagles' offense on that stream. Like that was his, and it's a coping mechanism for sure to deal with.
He was being self-deprecating about the offense. He wasn't talking about it.
Yeah,
Jalen. He was talking about the offense.
Trade me.
Yep.
You know, he was talking about taking you off of his fantasy team. Like,
yes,
he was just like, oh yeah, this situation really stinks. And like anyone that's ever been in one of those, and then you're just kind of like making jokes about it. It's like, oh, that person's telling a lot of truth right there. That joke. Let's just laugh at it and move on.
So, what's the percentage of Eagles fans that say no for a second-round pick? I mean, 80% maybe?
No, I really do think there's a lot of Eagles fans that are like, just get him off my team at this point. I think he lost a lot of people at that playoff game.
Yeah, it was bad.
I've, bumping around, being out here and there, the whole A.J. Brown thing comes up. It's like, that playoff game was it for me. That guy's lost me forever.
How much of it did he's also lost a little bit? He's not as explosive as he once was. A little bit?
Maybe. If I was always banking on him to be an explosive receiver, like I just want him to win the physicality battle. If he's checked out in terms of engaging with the cornerback,
that's really what it is.
That's going to be his values lost to me.
Because separation, when they talk about separation, a lot of that can be you're just going through the motions. I feel like if the Bills traded for him and now he's up in Buffalo and he's got Josh Allen thrown to him, he's going to look like a much different receiver out there in a new situation, in an offense that he respects and he likes than he does here. I really think that this is. I don't think this is personal necessarily with Jalen Hurts. Their relationship may be fine. You're lying to yourself if you don't think that this is a major thing.
Oh yeah,
going on.
Yeah, this is a bank show sheet at some point, reacting to the A.J. Brown resolution.
When's he get traded? First off, the percentage chance he gets traded.
85?
Yeah, feels like it.
Yeah.
And when? Draft? Lead up to the draft?
Yeah, post-free agency, pre-draft.
All right. It won't be a happy day, that's for sure.
No.
I love AJ.
Yeah, it'll be I'll be
not happy with him last year.
I'll be interested to see the reaction that day. Whether it's like, headache over. Or it's, man, that guy coming here was the opening of the window. You better figure it to bleep out with that wide receiver core.
But the second thing that you said, I think they're independent of each other. Because if it's best to get rid of the player, it's best to get rid of the player. You can't factor in, well, how we replace them because we're not good at replacing them. Even though that's true.
It is.
You have to do what's right. You have to do what's right for the team and the quarterback and everything else. But I do have, me and Howie, he's a Hall of Fame GM. He's not perfect, though. And the Eagles have struggled at the wide receiver department. I mean, Deshaun Jackson, high draft pick who slipped, good pick. Jeremy Maclin, high draft pick, good pick. Devontae Smith, they maneuvered very well around to get him where they got him by moving back. But who's the third rounder that it wasn't fairly obvious that that's the player that you have to take? It doesn't exist.
When have they drafted the receiver when they've been the postseason team? If you're going to continue this path of excellence, didn't you get Devontae after that disaster of a 2020 season? Wasn't he the 2021 draft?
Yeah, I guess so. Yep. All right, coming up more on this 610-632-0975, and we're going to talk about AI, but not that AI. AI. That's next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Phillies will be in Clearwater before you know it. And
I can still picture the video. Very odd period of music. Good song. I hated 80s music when I was in the 80s growing up, and then I love it now, which is interesting.
It's a nostalgia thing, I bet.
It's weird. My mom once told me she was listening to like Ben FM, not even Ben FM. It might have been Ben FM, but she doesn't like to listen to the music from when she was younger because it makes her sad. That she wants to hear more upbeat, new music as opposed to hearing the same songs over and over and over again. Now, I don't listen to Take On Me by Aha over and over and over again, but when it comes up, it's like, yeah, I like that song.
John's just sitting in a chair in the corner, Take On Me going,
crying
thinking about the 80s. What a time.
Yeah,
what a time it was.
I think it was it before Ben? One of the frequencies here had an 80s that wasn't Ben. It was something else. It was like Aha. We're gonna play Aha. Was it I forget the name of what the gimmick was, but yeah, like I liked it. And then when they had the 80s music on, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times can you hear "Don't Forget About Me" from the Breakfast Club movie?
I was an 80s on 8 kid. When we got Sirius to the car for the first time, that was a big deal.
It's on my presets when I'm driving around. If I'm, of course, not listening to the Fanatic.
Right.
Yeah. 80s on 8, 90s on 9.
What's the old VJ? Oh, what's his name?
Mark Summers?
No.
On the 80s on 8?
Yeah.
Shadow Stevens?
Crap. I don't know who.
Big fake puker voice? Because if you listen to some of those stations, you'll get the real like, oh, we're back and my name's
Alan
Johnny.
Hunter. That's who it was.
Alan Hunter, the old VJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he did that?
He does that, yeah. I know that if I I think one of my parents still have Sirius. If I were to pop Sirius on in their car, more than likely 80s on.
Yeah, I get a great deal. It's like $4 a month. It's just good. It's good when you're on long drives or things like that, and it's like, all right, like I need something else, and it's like, all right, let me go to. Because the problem I always had with those stations was once you listen to it for like a week, now you're hearing the same songs over and over and over again.
As it turns out, the top 40 the week after, the week you listen to it, is actually a very similar top 40.
Anyway, let's get Greg in here. Greg, what's up? How are you? Go ahead.
Hey, I'm good. I think. Do you believe that A.J. Brown is definitely gone, or do you think that the potential with the new AC or OC might convince him to stay? And do you think the Eagles would allow him to stay?
Yeah, I do. Honestly, here's what I think happens, because it seems like that. What do we have here? It seems like the Eagles would be open to it if he's got to be happy though. They got to have an honest conversation. You can't have what you had last year, and if you bring him back, sure, you can say this is the new offensive coordinator, but like, what does that mean? He potentially could be happy because it's a new scheme. Is Jalen Hurts going to be a different quarterback? Is AJ going to be happy? I find it hard to believe that everything's going to be fine. Now, can they make it work for one more year? Yeah, I think you could try. But Uncle Jamie on the text line says he doesn't believe that he doesn't believe that they're going to trade him. They're going to sell the new coordinators, new offense, whatever. I think it's a pretty simple conversation of, hey, AJ, what do you want? And if you ask AJ Brown and his agent, all else being equal, what do you want? I don't think he says, no, I want to come back. And you shouldn't be trying to sell him on anything. Either he wants to come back or he doesn't. Do people forget the type of player he was last year? He wasn't the A.J. Brown we saw the previous years. He had big drops. He was awful in that playoff game. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. He was bad in that playoff game, and if it was the first time, you're like, oh, that's weird. I don't think anyone came away from that game shocked at the way he performed or the way he acted. It was a season-long thing.
Yeah, it was kind of the entire season in general. All right, so does Dutsy have this going up there in the back? So you know what I did? The News at Noon's coming up in a second. I don't know why I did it, but I saw somebody on some social media, whatever, that typed in the Chat GPT. Do you use Chat GPT, Ray?
Not really, no.
You don't?
I try to Try to stay away, but
Why?
I don't know. Like my own intelligence. If I want to go find something, I want to find something.
But so you want to use Google and try to find it?
Yeah, I like to keep the brain turning.
Well, I mean, I use both. There's some things that I use ChatGPT just because it's easier. You can just like type in your resume and it gives you a resume, right? Or like I have to write a letter to such and such, and boom, it comes up with this perfect letter. I use it for a lot of non-radio reasons for stuff. But anyway, so I saw somebody did this, so I put it in, and it's a character creation request. So it already knows my picture. It knows what I do for a living because I have typed things in there before. It's kind of scary to think. So I had said, create a character creation of me, and it came up with a picture, and I put it out on my Instagram story, John Marks Media, and I think Dutz has it up there right now on our YouTube. If you want to check out our YouTube at 975 The Fanatic, it always kind of looks like you when ChatGPT comes up with the picture, and it always makes you a little bit more handsome than you are. This one, would you say it looks like me? People were saying it looked like Kurt Warner.
Ooh, it does look like Kurt Warner.
And I'll take that. Kurt's a handsome guy.
Yeah, I didn't see Kurt Warner until you said it. But yeah, it does look a little bit like Kurt Warner. There's the grin, too, of like, I'm about to teach you something about football.
Yeah.
Get out your notepad here. You're going to learn something about quarterback play in the NFL, buddy.
I'm a football guy. I like Kurt Warner a lot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But it's a good picture, right?
Yeah, it's a good picture.
Okay, so now, Ray, I did the same for you. And here's the picture I'm just sending to you right now. It doesn't look anything.
No, it doesn't look anything like me. I'm trying to figure out who it looks like pretty much your generic ESPNU. This is a play-by-play guy.
No, but it could look like you without the beard. Because the one picture of you out there that you put on social media
is beardless.
It's beardless, which
Right.
doesn't look anything like you with a beard.
Correct.
So that's what this is.
Yeah, but the issue is I'm not going to – I don't really go up to people like, hey, take a picture of me. So until I do that, it's just going to be the most professional-looking picture of me I have.
Right, but you can go on Google and just search your image, and that's pretty much what it's doing when it does that. All right, but it's still a handsome picture.
The image of me out there is definitely beardless.
Right, and it's an odd picture because we're so used to you with the beard, and in that picture that's out there, you have no beard.
Yeah, and I actually like that picture because it has the roadcaster sitting in front of you. This is well done by ChatGPT. Like, they know exactly the setup I've got. It's
right.
Very impressive work.
No, I put
work.
I put some detail in saying that you were a basketball play-by-play guy and Ray Dunn of 97.5 The Fanatic. But it gave you your coffee cup has Ray Dunn on it. It's up there. There's a basketball as a prop. We got to do it for Dutz and for Nate.
Are we putting Nate? Where are we putting Nate?
Producing a YouTube video for us. I think the one with Dutz would look really good. And then Nate, who knows? Nate's the slickest looking guy in the whole place.
I know.
He's smooth.
It would do well for him, I'm sure. I'm just saying more where we're putting him.
Doing what?
Yeah,
answering the phones.
Yeah, okay,
or running a marathon.
Yeah, there you go.
They're the only two things. He's Catholic. In church.
He's running to church. Give us a picture of Nate Tennyson answering his phone while running to church.
There you go. Well, you're a veteran of the AI images because everybody.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Them.
I also feel like I don't need to make them because there's so many out there of me, courtesy of If Bayless, that like if I started making them, it'd just be kind of overload at this point.
That's true.
ChatGPT knows me too well.
Yeah, you don't need any more out there.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. All right, coming up, we have the news at noon with Ray Dunn. It should be an interesting one today as we have media night moments, Greg Maddox, and, oh, man, if you're a hardo out there, wait till you get this story. That's awesome. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Doubleheader, double wins. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. We had a doubleheader in Philadelphia sports last night, and the result, 2 wins. The Sixers win out west, 113-94 over the Warriors. VJ Edgecombe with 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Now the Sixers have a day off as they head to L.A. to take on the Lakers tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. You'll be able to listen to that game right here on The Fanatic. The Flyers last night picked up a 4-2 win over the Capitals. Owen Tippett, Jamie Drysdale both had goals in the game. Dan Vladar had 26 saves, including this one.
At the center ice, here comes Watkins right back in. Duhaim's got a man going to the net. Oh, a great save by Dan Vladar, closing the 5-hole as Lapierre tried to tuck him through him, and Vladar said, nothing doing.
Flyers back in action against the Senators Thursday at 7 o'clock. You'll be able to listen to that game on our sister station, WMMR. We're days away from the Super Bowl. Mike Gill's out on Radio Row. We'll check in with him at 1 o'clock about everything going on out there, what he's thinking about everything going on in Philadelphia sports. This update's brought to you by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale is here. Score unbeatable deals to get matched with the perfect bed. They make sleep easy. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the Sixers, Flyers, best birds talking in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app. This actually is the instrumental that would play because I think this was in a rotator.
It was a bump. It was
Yeah.
it was Jody Mack's ending theme song.
Oh.
Last time you played it, I said it. Yeah, yeah. It
Maybe
didn't
we
have
did this on Last One Hit Wonder Wednesday as well.
We did.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, we did. So that was that was Jody would end his show and then he would send it off to that.
We're still taking requests at 610.
Are we taking requests on the
632-0975.
text line? One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right, very good. The 12 o'clock hour of the program brought to you by, was it Service First HVAC?
That's right.
You're darn right it is. Rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more, ServiceFirstHVAC.com. Time for the news at noon.
This city needs its news.
Now, it's time for
I'd like to be remembered as a good newsman.
the News at Noon
That's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
with Ray Dunn.
All right, we're going to take you out to Radio Row to opening media night, actually, in the NFL, because this was something I saw, I think it was early yesterday morning, that didn't fit into anything we were doing with the show, but I needed to play at some point because the Busted with the Boys podcast guys were out there doing we're going to ask questions. We're going to get a chance to talk to the coaches. And they asked Mike McDonald the question that is kind of the looming background figure right now with this Super Bowl matchup. Hey, you had the ball, 4th and 1 in the Super Bowl, maybe trailing by 4 points in some hypothetical matchup. Would you run it? in that situation?
Coach McDonald, yeah, we'll talk to Buster with the boys. I'm gonna paint a situation for you. It's the fourth quarter, 26 seconds left. The second goal on the 1. You're down by 4. Are you gonna run the football or are you gonna throw it?
Beast mode the backfield.
Are you gonna call him and get him in uniform and finally hit him the football?
That's within the realm of possibility.
So he handled it pretty well.
Yep.
Even though if he's saying beast mode of the backfield, it does kind of feel like a little jab at like Pete Carroll. Like, hey, if I had Marshawn Lynch, I'd probably just run it there.
Right. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if he meant that.
Even though it's the most obvious thing in the world.
Yeah. It definitely. It's one of the first things you think about when you think about this matchup is what could have been.
Right. Seahawks would have 2 Super Bowls.
Yep. Yeah, that team was because did they beat the Broncos?
Yeah, they smoked the Broncos.
The year before. And then it would have been back-to-back. So that's almost like a dynasty. It's a little mini dynasty.
The No Dynasty for You award goes to the Seattle Seahawks.
Correct.
Not beating the Patriots there. And I'm a big sliding doors guy. They win that. 2 Super Bowls to their name. I don't know if anything goes different really with that era with them. That might have just been it. But the Patriots, that would have been 3 consecutive Brady and Belichick Super Bowl losses because they get back 2 years later and win against the Falcons. Then 2 years after that, they beat the Rams. I don't know if they really assess any changes there. But
it is interesting how they not that they turned around the narrative, but if that would have been a loss and that would have been the end of it, then they're looked at differently.
Yeah. It's a little different world. Obviously, we know how it ends up, so it ends up being totally different, but always a thing to think about. All right, so this was actually Jeff Francoeur on with Pinching Ninja that this went viral. Greg Maddux, apparently, when he was down there at spring training and would have adults seeking his autograph that he felt was going to resell, decided, I don't want to give them my autograph. I'm going to give them an autograph they think is my autograph, and then they'll realize once everyone's gone down the line that this autograph is going to ruin their merchandise. Here is Jeff Francoeur telling the story of Maddux in spring training.
So this is one of my favorite Maddux. He'll deny it. I was 19 years old in big league camp. It was part of my contract. My agent did a good job getting me invited to big league camp. So I'm out in center field, and I'd always heard that Maddux didn't sign for a lot of people, or he would, like, I'll think. And he was like, hey, Rook, let's go sign some balls. So I'm like, okay. So, I follow him over there, and we start signing, but all I see is I'm like number 31, and I'm like, that doesn't say Maddux. He signed like 20 balls Jeffrey Dahmer and was signing it for all these. Now, the kids, I give Maddux credit. To all the kids, he would put Greg Maddux. But the old guys that he thought were going to sell the balls, he was writing Jeffrey Dahmer, number 31.
Awesome. Oh, my God. Yeah, I having worked with Brandon before, I remember when Brian Dawkins had a show on the station that we were over at Finnegan's Wake, which at the time was 2nd and Spring Garden. There would be guys that would stand in the middle of the street and would just send somebody else in there with a bag of stuff. And then someone would go in with a helmet, and then they would get it signed, and then someone else would go in. So I've seen these autograph seekers or these people that just buy these helmets to get them signed. I mean, a kid with a baseball, you sign every time. But if an adult's asking for an autograph, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Maybe just sign the ball. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's funny.
Yeah. I mean, the name choice is just insane. Like, you could have went with just like
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, like any other name. Like, I don't know.
What's your best autograph? Do you have one?
I mean, Doc is probably.
Doc's
there.
a good one.
Yeah. I told you we do like the 08 and the 80s.
So you have like all those.
Yeah, we have all those from that era.
It's never been I see a famous person and I'm like, oh, can I have your autograph? Give me a piece of paper. Now people just want selfies.
Right. Now everyone wants a selfie, but I don't know how I'd put selfies up on the wall.
You don't?
Yeah. But I think the autograph is like the man cave type builder. Like, you're not going to put... I'm not going to invite someone over to my basement, and my basement's going to have me with a bunch of selfies with famous people. That's what my Instagram's
for. If you got a jersey and they signed it, you could frame that.
Right.
You're doing a bunch of stuff with the 08 and the 80 team. That's a big deal. Just like you go to some signing and it's a picture of, they're handing out the publicity picture, and what are you doing with that? Putting it on your dresser or your nightstand?
No, I'll probably put in...
You frame it?
Yeah, probably. Like, we have in the basement all of those autographs framed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But a baseball's pretty cool to get autographed.
Right.
That's a little bit different.
I guess. I think it's easier to tell in the picture. All these autographs kind of look like scribble.
I'm not an autograph guy, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was an autograph guy by what we were doing. At this point, like if we had Barkley when I was working with Mike, there was no way I was going to go to the end of that show and be like, hey, you mind signing this for me?
Right.
Like at this point in the industry, like my interaction with people, I can't really.
You just
sitting there like
you just get a picture.
Yeah, like hey, great working with you.
So what does it say about Greg Maddox that he went Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah, that's.
And for people that don't know, Jeffrey Dahmer was a serial killer,
right?
Who put his killed in his freezer and refrigerator and actually ate them, at least a little bit of them,
right,
before he got caught. And it's pretty.
It's a pretty tough
strong
name to choose on that one. Maybe
pretty strong.
Any other? Yeah. All right, last one for you here. This is for all the people excited for All-Star Weekend in the NBA because I know there's so many out there. Jamal Murray's going to make sure it's worth the price of attendance or whatever you're paying for the streaming service that you're using to watch it.
Yeah, I really kind of like lost interest in All-Star, just watching whatever they're doing out there. It's just like, I'd rather go vacation if that's the basketball we're going to be playing, you know what I'm saying? I'm down to play one-on-one. I don't care. I'm just a competitor, right? So I would like to play. I know Wembanyama will play. I know Giannis will play if he were to. So I want to be one of those guys that's known as somebody who's going to play hard every time he steps on the court. And not just half-ass it.
Oh, yeah, because the NBA All-Stars take their lead from Jamal Murray.
Yep. Well, maybe he can bridge LeBron or somebody. But LeBron plays at one speed anyway now, so it's not like he's going to play any different.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Jamal Murray's the reason that the NBA All-Star Game is going to be watchable this year?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I was just talking about that the other night.
Sign me up.
All right, that's the news at noon. Trying to think who I would sign a ball to if I was a Greg Maddox and I was like, screw these adults. I'm not signing my name. Who am I going to use? Who would it be?
I'd probably use John Marks.
Use me?
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm not going to use you, but that's a good idea. Ray done. You have to use something where someone actually looks at it and be like, what is that? Like Jeffrey Dahmer. You go home and you look at it and you're like, Jeffrey Dahmer? Number 31.
Well, what was the person that caused the controversy when ESPN flashed her onto the screen? We'll go with that name.
The adult star. I don't even remember the name, but I still get a kick out of that at a college football game where there's lots of pretty girls in the crowd. That the camera flashed to one pretty girl that actually goes to the University of Miami. She's also a well-known adult star. That the camera operator and the producer must have known this. Right, like boom, like that, like, hey, there she is. And then boom, they put her up and they get criticized for it. Like, oh my God, how can you do that? It's like, I didn't know who the hell it was.
I just think about the person in the back that if they did notice it, did they say something? Or were they like, take her off the screen and then everyone in the room's like, whoa.
Someone could have yelled. Someone could have yelled whatever her name was. But the camera people, don't they identify a bunch of different people that they're going to go to shots? They look for the interesting fans. They look for the girl. They look for the guy without the shirt on or whatever.
It's a shirtless dude, attractive woman. Right. That's like, take it to the bank. You can guarantee a cameraman's getting a shot of that.
So it's now 4th and 1, and the play clock's winding down. They're breaking the huddle, and the cameraman goes to whoever that adult star was.
Right.
And they don't need to be criticized for it. I just thought it was nuts that just because you recognize the person doesn't mean that 95% of the people out there don't recognize the person.
I'm thinking of the person in the truck.
No offense.
That was like, oh, we got to get that person off the screen. It's like, why? It's like, I can't tell you. Just cut away. Who's that? I don't want to tell you how I know who that is. Just leave it alone. Take her off the screen.
Well, I guess she's very well known.
Yeah.
Is what Uncle Jamie's texting me.
Oh.
All right. Well, there you go. So I have this on the Phillies. All right. I got two things on the Phillies. A, Jeff Kerr used to work for CBS, right? For CBS.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jeff. I'm a fan. He retweeted a tweet because, Phillies fans right now are still in the crabby mood. That we're not being like, oh, we still got a good bullpen and Zach Wheeler's going to be back. There's a lot of glass half full, not glass half empty, not a lot of glass half full. And that's good. Whatever. Let people wallow a little bit before the season starts. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. So he retweets it and says, who would you have signed this offseason that was better? Always a complaint, but never an answer. So in other words, what would you have done, genius? Like, you would have done better? Like, give me the name that you would have signed that would have made this team better. Okay, well, that's not really the point. Because nobody out there on Twitter or nobody out there on Instagram or just a Phillies fan, it's not their job. They're not compensated $10 million a year or whatever Dave Dombrowski's paid to try to win a World Series. That's not our job. We may have answers for you. We may be able to say, you should have signed this player, you should have signed that player, and that's fair. But it's not just about who you signed. It's also about kind of your pace and urgency. And you don't know what's available out there until you actually investigate and you go out and you try to make some moves. What was the trade market like this offseason? They've been telling you all they want to do is trade Alec Boehm. It's just, are they being greedy with what they're asking for with Boehm? Have they decided they'd rather have him as the third baseman than trade him just to trade him? I don't know. I think it's pretty fair that Dave Dombrowski wasn't aggressive in the trade market or the free agent market. They weren't even going to try to sign anybody until Bo Bichette almost fell in their lap. So here, the whole thing about it is, no, it isn't who would you have signed. What was the level of urgency by management and by ownership to try to make the team better? Because they didn't have a lot of money to spend. And I've never said they're being cheap and they have a lot of money to spend. But what can you do to make this team feel like they're rejuvenated? Because the Phillies have not done that. Bringing back everybody's not doing that. Now, can they make the playoffs? Yeah, they better make the playoffs. Can they win a round or two? Yeah, they better. But you can't go back to losing again and being out because you had an opportunity to go for it and to make a move. What would Ruben Amaro Jr. have done? And I'm not telling you Ruben is a better GM than Dave Dombrowski. Dave Dombrowski's a Hall of Fame GM. But I can tell you what, I respected Ruben when he said, you know what? There's deals to be made out there. I just got to find them, and I'm going to swing big, and I'm going to trade prospects, and I'm going to go out, and I'm going to make my team better. And he did. Those teams were great. They didn't win, but, man, you tell me the Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, some of those teams, Roy Oswalt, he was making moves to try to make the team better. I didn't see that from Dave Dombrowski. I saw Dave Dombrowski with we have a good club. We were that close.
We have a good club.
If the Dodgers and the umpire apologize, because who knows what happens? Maybe we win a World Series. I don't look at last season like that, but Dave does. He said he was content.
Fine line.
His words. No, we're content, and he wasn't lying. I can't have a GM content after you come that close to beating the Dodgers. If it's as close as you're trying to tell us, Dave, beating the Dodgers, don't you want to have some more urgency to say, damn it, we were that close? How can I make this team better? Bullpen, for sure, improved it on paper. Ray, the rest of the team, sorry. So, Jeff, I would disagree with your tone on the tweet that, what would you have done? I would have done something. If it's my job, I get paid a lot of money, I would have done something, Ray.
I don't even think that it's that crazy to point to what you could have done. You could have moved off of Boehm. You could have tried to go after Eugenio Suarez. Like, that could have been something you did. You could have looked at that outfield and said, Garcia's not the swing I'm going to take at the outset of free agency before the dominoes really fall here and go with the 1-year, $10 million contract. I'm not going to just hand over center field to a guy who's played mostly left field in AAA. When it comes to the rotation, if our pivot point off of JT was Bo Bichette or no Bichette, maybe it is Ranger Suarez that you kept around. And I'm not saying I would have given out that contract, but I don't think that it's totally unfathomable to look at this offseason and say that there are other moves you could have made, because I think the response that you would get, maybe you'd be underwhelmed still by the changes that fans would make. But I don't think I came into this offseason thinking the Mets were going to have Jorge Polanco playing first base for them.
Right.
I don't think I came into this offseason thinking Bo Bichette was a third baseman. Yet we left this offseason, and the two teams that were left in the Bo Bichette sweepstakes were two teams that were going to play him at third base. Like, it takes a certain level of creativity, I think, to win at this level. And what he's done and what Dave Dombrowski will probably end up having his legacy be in this town is he took the path most traveled this offseason. He took the one where there were no stop signs. You could keep rolling along, and you could feel good about your club the rest of the way. And
he took the safe, easy way out.
He took the safe route to 90 wins. And you know what? Maybe he's proven right. Maybe next October we are sitting here sipping champagne, talking about how great this run has been, and boy, did they have a good club, and they got hot at the right time. And who are we to question future Hall of Famer Dave Dombrowski. But when you sit here and look at the way the last couple seasons have ended, they've ended pretty similar.
Yeah.
And you look at a team that feels pretty similar. And you can't help but think you're going to go into another season saying, 90 wins, I'll talk to you at the trade deadline. Like, I'll by the end of May, I'll talk myself into the fact that they're the best team in the National League. They'll have a bad run at some point in June and July. I'll start freaking out. By trade deadline comes around, I'll feel like they did well at the trade deadline, which I guess was only really a feeling I had last year.
But was this offseason the year to be like that?
No.
It wasn't. This was the offseason where you kind of needed to make a move. This group right here, you brought back Schwarber, JT came back. I don't know. You got to do something. You got to because you can live and die with the. Well, get to the playoffs. We don't know how you're playing then. We almost beat the Dodgers. We were a good club. They were a good club. We know that. But are they a better club this year?
We have a good club.
Could they be? Absolutely, they could be.
Yeah, when you ask them if they have a better club, they're going to point to the bullpen. With that Backus guy.
Jim Backus.
Yeah. And Jonathan Bolin. Because everyone came into this offseason just dying to see Jonathan Bolin be a member of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, that was my plan.
Yeah.
Once you hit the offseason, I want those two guys first.
I remember reading it. Gelb, Zielecki, Salisbury, Kerr, everybody had it. Legardo, everybody had it at the top of their list. Offseason additions. Jonathan Bolin, right up above Backus. That was the plan for this offseason.
All right, one other Phillies note. Eric Karabell, he's still mostly fantasy writer for ESPN, but he's a good sports guy. I respect him. They're making bold predictions. Aiden Miller will earn the Phillies' third base job by Memorial Day and win NL Rookie of the Year.
Whoa.
So think about this. Aiden Miller will earn the Phillies' third baseman job by Memorial Day and win NL Rookie of the Year. Now,
how about that?
Now, okay, it doesn't make sense for so many different reasons, but I know they're bold predictions. I would have maybe changed it and said he's the starting third baseman by the trade deadline, and he looks like I don't know if he would have enough at bats to be the Rookie of the Year, but he's playing like a Rookie of the Year. Because Aiden Miller, who has 74 at bats above AA, really needs to play. And the Phillies, even in the offseason, have said we look at him as a shortstop. So he's not starting the year at shortstop or at third base. He's still playing shortstop. He's never played third base. But by Memorial Day, and by the way, trades never happen in Major League Baseball for the most part until the trade deadline time, which is in July. Not only is he going to be the starting third baseman by Memorial Day, which means Bo must be traded, he's also going to play. He's going to play third base, and he's going to be the NL Rookie of the Year. Okay, Phillies fans, because then I saw a lot of people responding to this. Please listen to me. If Aiden Miller has any type of role on the team next year, that's great, and hopefully it's a positive role, and he's a contributor. But going into the season, expecting him to be the Rookie of the Year or to be the starting third baseman, a position he never played, just get it out of your head. If he ends up doing it because of injury or because of ineffectiveness or he's so good at AAA, that's great. You can't go into the season thinking that Aiden Miller is going to be that piece that we're talking about they didn't get. He's not ready for it, or if he is ready for it, no one should expect it. That's something he's going to have to do. So get it out of your head. I saw a lot of people who are like, yeah, he should be the third baseman. He's never played it. You're going to put him on the hot corner of a team that's signing pitchers for ground balls. They're signing ground ball pitchers in the bullpen because they don't want fly ball pitchers. You're going to put him at third base and he's never played it? Like, come on, it's so stupid.
So I'm thinking down this bold take, and I'm just wondering how Aiden Miller ends up at third before the end of May. Like,
Bohm goes down with a serious injury, and there's such ineffectiveness from the guys they put in there that they give him a shot. And he starts AAA hot.
You think that happens before they give Kemp Sosa? Like, I guess.
No.
Like, he would have to go down in April, and then May is disastrous.
And even then, it's not likely.
Yeah. That's the maybe is it more likely if Stott? I'm not trying to project injuries here, but, like, if he ends up at second, yeah, I don't know if I see a world where it's the third baseman by Memorial Day.
It'd be tough.
They're very difficult.
Bowman would have to be injured in spring training.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, but that's why it doesn't make sense.
But yeah, that's also like, could you imagine they go down to Clearwater?
No.
And that happens?
And that's not why Eric said it. He's got to give these takes. He's obviously high on Aiden Miller. I just think he should retake exactly what he's saying.
Right.
Because Memorial Day being the starter, he's never played third base. At some point, could they give him a look at third base? They're still saying he's a shortstop.
be a great conversation around the grill on Memorial Day. I would enjoy that.
Coming up, we have a YouTube poll, and it's a really interesting turn in what's happened. Wait till you see this. We had precincts have weighed in that we didn't have before, right?
Oh, yeah. No, we've got a whole batch of votes that just dropped.
Awesome. It is the anniversary of the Super Bowl 52. And to celebrate that, we have Doug Peterson on with Nick Foles' podcast. And he was talking about calling plays in Philadelphia and this past season for the Eagles. Doug's insight, and we'll get back into it. That's next. Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
2 games, 2 wins. I'm ready done with this Fanatic Sports Update. 2 games last night for the Philadelphia winter sport teams. The Sixers out west taking on the Golden State Warriors and cruising to victory 113-94 over the Warriors. VJ Edgecombe with a big game in that one. 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, including this jumper.
103-86 Sixers, 2 seconds. VJ hangs, fires, puts it up and in. An incredible shot by Edgecombe. And the Sixers lead 105-86. VJ with 23.
Sixers go back to L.A. for a Thursday night game against the Lakers. That's 10 o'clock tomorrow night. You can listen to the game right here on The Fanatic. Flyers won 4-2 last night over the Capitals at Xfinity Mobile Arena. Owen Tippett, Jamie Drysdale amongst those to score goals in the game. Dan Vladar had 26 saves in the win for the Fly Guys. Now they've got the Senators Thursday at 7 o'clock. You'll be able to listen to that game on WMMR. We're days away from the Super Bowl. Mike Gill's out there on Radio Row. He'll join us coming up at 1 o'clock to talk about everything going on out there and everything he's thinking about Philadelphia sports. This update's brought to you by Dairy Queen. The new spicy menu at DQ has opposites attracting spicy flamethrower chicken strips now served with a dip of sweet DQ soft serve. Sounds wrong, but it tastes so right. The new spicy menu at DQ at participating locations. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the Sixers, Flyers, best birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic app.
Da-na-na-na-na. It's very strange. The video is very strange. And this was the era where you didn't know a song without the video. At least I did. And I was a young kid. This is 84 or 83.
Think so. This was another listener request here.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you for the request out there. On the text line.
The text line right now is enjoying the request.
One Hit Wonder Wednesday?
Yeah, they're saying that we're keeping them laughing with some of these.
Go forward. Move ahead. It's not too late. Whip it. That was mid-'80s right there. So you said that Brandon Dutz had our YouTube producer had some recommendations?
Yeah, I don't really want to call him to the floor, but I'm going to call him to the floor on this one because this is youth right here. He wanted, Ray, I have a request. Either Can I Kick It by A Tribe Called Quest or Eye of the Tiger.
All right, so listen. Eye of the Tiger, is that Foreigner, Eye of the Tiger? They're not a one-hit wonder, but what you can call that song a one-hit wonder all that you want. I don't care. But Dutz, can you come in here, please, for a second? Brendan Dutz he's 21 years old. So we have to keep that in mind. Right. I'm just wondering if he knows what a one-hit wonder is. Because they don't have one-hit wonders now. Everyone's a one-hit. Yeah, everything's a one-hit wonder. Right.
Yeah, there's like a dozen artists that you believe are going to stick around. You pick one of them and enjoy them.
If he's not listening back there, Dutz, get in here. It really pains me and it hurts me in the inside even to get that text message. And I bring it back to, and I know a lot of this was done on purpose, but my old producer, Jack, used to talk about Mo Cheeks, and because Mo Cheeks is one of my favorite Philadelphia athletes of all time. I didn't cry when he got traded, but I might as well have cried. You know how he found out he got traded, Ray? Michael Barkan told him. Michael Barkan was working for Channel 3. He was like the weekend and night sports guy, sports guy.
Oh, Mo Cheeks found that out.
Mo Cheeks found out he got traded by Michael Barkan outside his house.
Oh, that's terrible.
Barkan was waiting for him to come home because then there's no cell phone or anything like that. So he didn't get word. Word got out of a trade before he was told.
Oh, that's terrible.
And Mo Cheeks, consummate professional, Hall of Fame point guard, big reason why they had that success. Unselfish player. I love Mo Cheeks. And people talk like, oh, well, he couldn't play in today's game. Oh, my ass, he couldn't play in today's game. He'd be a great player in today's game. So when Dutz sends a text message, do you know what a one-hit wonder is?
I wasn't really paying attention to that part. That was what I
Pull
missed.
the microphone up a little bit so we can hear you.
There you go. Is that better?
All right, so a one-hit wonder, because you're young, is a group, a singer, or a band, whatever it is, that literally had the one song, and then that was it.
Oh, yeah, neither of mine fit that. I was just waiting because it was a good song.
No, the Tribe Called Quest is one of the best rap groups ever.
That's what I said.
So what did you think a one-hit wonder was?
I didn't think anything. I just wasn't paying attention. I wanted a good
He just thought it was Request Wednesday.
It got worse. That's what I thought.
All right. So could you name a one-hit wonder?
No, I couldn't name one.
Yeah, you can.
I couldn't name one.
Ask him for his favorite song since he can't hear me. Ask him for
what's your favorite song?
Ooh.
What do you mean, ooh?
I don't think I have a favorite
song.
song.
Are you a hip-hop guy? Do you like...
Yeah, but what is like hip-hop classic? Like, I don't know what that
I don't know. I'm almost 50 years old. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Do you just watch TikTok videos all day?
No, I don't know. I actually don't have TikTok. As young as I am, I don't have
Do you like music?
Yeah.
What kind of music do you like?
I guess rap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the answer I was looking for.
There you go. I don't
like
have
rap.
one favorite song.
Who's your favorite artist? Give me your top. Like, you don't have to give me top. Just give me one or two of your favorite artists.
Probably Drake.
Okay. So he's a Drake guy, and you're a Lamar guy.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
He's young. He has a lot to learn.
Okay. All right.
I couldn't define a one-hit wonder.
Fair answer.
Yep.
Okay.
So, there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Brandon Dutz, everybody,
Good
our
luck to you, John.
YouTube producer. He's also, if you listen on the weekends, you may catch his updates. He's a weekend producer as well. There goes Dutz, and he's got great hair.
Wonderful hair.
Got a bird's nest.
He really does.
Up
now,
there.
I wonder if he was a little hesitant to come in because he wasn't prepared to be on camera today. And, he got to get it all situated.
His hair would be more coiffed.
A little bit.
Nate comes in every day with the hair. It looks like Sal Palantonio in his prime on ESPN. Mm-hmm. That's Nate every day. The gel's perfect. There's not a string of hair going anywhere else.
What's longer, the commute or the time to put the hair together?
Probably he takes great care in the hair.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
He does. It's good. It's a good look for both of them.
Meanwhile, I'm not even sure what's going on. Ray, you just have
I just rolled out of bed.
Yeah, you roll out of bed. All right.
Which today was very much the case.
Let's go to Doug Doug Peterson went on Nick Foles' podcast. Ray, every week we're talking about Nick Foles' podcast. And you seem to have watched the whole thing. I watched a chunk. But what do we have him talking about how difficult it is, Patullo and stuff? Here's Doug Peterson.
Obviously, they're coming off a Super Bowl the year before. You got the reigning MVP, the whole thing. There's going to be pressure. It doesn't matter where you are, but especially in Philadelphia. It might not be that way in Jacksonville, Florida, but I know that in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, there's going to be pressure on that offensive coordinator, on that head coach to try to repeat because it's the no one is ever satisfied mentality. You're on to the next season. And
there you go. He knows.
No one's ever satisfied thing. Hits a little different knowing the way the rest of that arrow went.
Damn, you think about that. We were talking it earlier with Brendan Pachilli, who just walked by. And could they really move on from the coach or the quarterback 2 years after winning a Super Bowl? Because they did it with Carson and with Doug. Could they do it again? And my answer is, of course they could. If they feel like it's best to get a different quarterback and a different coach, they would do it in a second. It's worked. They've been smart. They haven't hung on too long. And by the way, we should all be thanking Carson Wentz because Carson's the one that really pushed the issue there. The Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts because they were worried about it, but if Carson doesn't say trade me, I don't know if they trade him. And then how he's able to get the conditional first-round draft pick, which ended up being a first-round draft pick, it could have worked out better. Jalen Hurts turns into the starter they were looking for. They win it. They go to a Super Bowl. They win a Super Bowl. Bang. All right, here's the other one. Doug's talk. Do we have the other one, or is that the only one you have? The only one you have? Other side. All right. Well, we have a Doug one on the other side talking about some other things, including Jalen Hurts. You forget that Doug was Jalen's coach.
Yeah.
You almost forget it for a second.
That weird crossover of time.
Yeah, it's weird. All right, what's going on in this YouTube poll you were talking about?
Yeah, so who will win more playoff rounds in the next 5 years? You could go on to our YouTube and vote on this. Phillies, Sixers, Flyers all grouped together as one option, and then the Eagles the other option. Right now, the Eagles have opened up a 65-35 advantage over the Phillies, Sixers, and Flyers combined.
What did you vote?
I voted for the Phillies, Sixers, and Flyers combined because I'm an eternal optimist that just wants to believe that things are going to work out for this group of teams.
So I would agree with you, and not because I'm the optimist. It's because I just think it's a numbers game at this point. If the Eagles, the last 5 years, and if you include bye rounds, this is for all the sports. So the Phillies, when they get a bye, that counts as a playoff round win. Each Eagle game is a playoff win. The Sixers don't get credit for a win in the first round, and then they lose. They need to win the round. So the last 5 years, the Eagles have 7, and the rest of them have 8?
8.
Yeah, and that's not a good run. I guess the Phillies had a decent run in there.
Right. You 22 and 23, where you advance 2 rounds in 23, and you advance.
So combined Phillies, combined Sixers, combined Flyers for the next 5 years, or Eagles. Mm-hmm. Who will have more of the next 5 years? More people, 65% voting just Eagles.
Just the Eagles.
Nah, man, I can't do it. Can't do it. I think the Eagles will win a good amount. If the Flyers don't win 2 playoff series in the next 5 years, I feel so bad for Flyers fans. I feel bad for Flyers fans right now, and you have a big national podcast star that's riding the Flyers and trolling the Flyers. We'll play that coming up as well. But yeah, man, they got to win at least 2. If you go to a cup final or even like an NBA Eastern Conference final, that means you win 2 rounds. If you go to the Eastern Conference, if you win 1 round, that's 1.
Yeah.
You can't win 1 playoff series every other year. I know they haven't.
Right. You'd like to say they would, right?
Well, they better. All right, we talked about the Doug Peterson. He's talking about Jalen Hurts, and he had a really interesting comment about what he saw with Jalen and the lack of trust. We'll play that for you coming up next. Mike Gill's coming up at 1 o'clock live from the Super Bowl. It's Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Let's talk about my hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration. Check this out. In the month of February, guys, you've been thinking about it. Maybe you're thinking about a hair transplant like I had. You'll get 1 year of Nutrafol absolutely free when you book your transplant, and that's helping that your transplant results stay strong. So it's all about hair loss, right? They have 3 locations, Bala, Wayne, and Lancaster. I had the hair restoration procedure. I had the hair transplant, and the results are unbelievable. You look at my hair, and it's like, wow, you have a really good hairline for almost being 50. Well, That is because of Morgenstern hair. But for a lot of people out there, a lot of guys, if you're starting to go bald or you're really like, oh man, like I've lost a lot of hair in the last year, I'm telling you, non-invasive hair restoration options for men and for women. We're talking about every stage of hair loss. So maybe you're perfect and you don't have to worry about it. But maybe in the last 5 years, now you're in your 30s, now you're in your 40s, you're like, damn, I've really lost my hair. You can shave your head. That's great if you like that. But maybe you want to keep your hair. That's why you go to Morgenstern Hair Restoration. Most experience, most success, the same team that's been doing it for over 30 years, the same team that I trusted my own hairline with for over 10 years, non-invasive hair restoration options for men and women, every stage of hair loss and the hair transplant, which is amazing results. Morgensternhair.com, that's Morgan with an E, Morgensternhair.com, or you can call their office and speak to their hair team. 610-831-HAIR, 610-831-HAIR, Morgensternhair.com.
The Flyers have hit some bumps.
And it's bad.
Ricky just made his trek in here. And apparently, when he was playing Kansas City, they played the Mariners. And this crew is from the Mariners or from Seattle.
Oh, really?
And
Baja Boys?
Every inning, they were sitting next to the dugout and doing this song. And I was like, yeah, no kidding, you hate it. For 9 innings, you were subjected to it.
Oh, I hate it so much.
Come on, hungry dogs run faster.
So my little girl, on Thursdays, I got to drive her to my in-laws in Broomall. So it's a good, hour in the car with her before we get there in the morning. And she will routinely not ask for that version of it because I had to do the Kids Bop version of it, which is far less annoying than that, but not much.
Really?
Well, it's so much so that I actually said, hey, honey, do you want to hear the real version? And she said no, but I did it anyway. Far more annoying than the Kids Bop version. Yep.
I was going to say I feel like the Kids Bop version's the most annoying version of any song.
Yeah. Well,
but
no. Some of it's pretty good. Some of it I prefer Kids Bop because I like it. Astronaut in the Ocean, I don't know who does that, but that's a good Kids Bop version.
In the ocean?
Yep. But when you go, you don't know it.
Yeah. No, sorry, but I do know this.
You know that.
Yeah,
it's very popular. It's a couple years old now.
Yeah, it is
at least
a couple years old. Yeah, but it was on radio all the time.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. There you go. Just a couple. We'll play the Doug thing coming up here in a second. But so there is another young coach out there that the Eagles are, and I just actually lost it. Eagles interviewing Cardinals QB coach. So they're trying to like fill out their staff, right? So Patullo gone. So now was Scott Laffer is he still the offensive? He's still the quarterbacks coach, but I think they're looking to replace the passing game coordinator. Like they're looking for young guys to come in there. So Connor Sanger is being interviewed by the Eagles to be their quarterbacks coach. He's only 30 years old. He interviewed for the Bears offensive coordinator job, and he's a candidate in the Bills and Packers for their quarterbacks coaches. So, again, you see what the Eagles are doing on offense. They're bringing in a bunch of young guys, and they're trying to get that next generation. One of these guys is going to turn out to be a genius, and we're going to have him. Hoo-ah.
So, Scott Leffler gone?
I guess.
I mean, I can't imagine there's a lot of cities out there that care that the quarterback coach entirely gone. But for me personally,
it's news to me.
Yeah, it'd be news to me too. I mean, this is a turnover. This is a considerable turnover in coaching staff. I mean, it's not that it was a good offense, but is Mannion out there trying to form a super team here? Is it Howie that's forming the super team here? Is it Nick that's like, hey, I want hiring power for one guy, and I want to go get this guy?
Maybe this is because it's I don't even know the name. It's Ari. It's one of those football bot tweet guys. I don't know if this guy's real or not.
Yeah. Per source is actually something he saw on a different account like 2 hours ago.
Right. So I don't. But normally, like this guy normally has good at like if you do this and you want to find out a lot of NFL information, a lot of times he has this there. So it makes sense not just because if let's say Mannion's a slam dunk. What's been the Eagles' biggest problem? When they lose guys, they don't have an internal person to replace them because the internal replacements have been bad. So now you get a couple young guys in there. You have the Grizzard guy, and now you have him to where if Mannion does get poached because he has a good season, you have other guys that can step in, and it's like attractive because you're calling the plays. It's not you work for Nick Sirianni, offensive coordinator. You're actually calling the plays on your offense. So it's another young guy. You didn't even give him the job yet. They're just interviewing him. But I like what the Eagles are doing.
Any thought to the fact that the guy that's going to be coaching Jalen Hurts is going to be younger than Connor Thomas?
Is that right?
Yeah. He'd be younger than Connor. He'd be younger than Andrew.
It's bro, listen, it happens when the GM started getting hired in their 30s. It becomes weird because you're like, well, why is this guy getting hired? Yeah, and then McVay gets the job, and he's just in his early 30s. Now it becomes a trend. No.
I get it. Just insane to think of that in that context.
They're being groomed to do it now. The younger guys are being groomed. So, all right, well, that's that. All right, so Doug was on the Nick Foles podcast, and he was talking about what was fairly obvious, but the lack of trust is something Doug brings up with Patullo. Listen.
As I watched Jalen throughout the course of the year, I just felt like they were getting a little bit further apart. And sometimes as a play caller, when you're not on the same page, you start looking at your call sheet and you're trying to just grasp at straws. You're just trying to find a play that works. And to me, that's kind of what it felt like with the Eagles down the stretch. I think it played heavily on Jalen, his mindset going into each week. I don't know how confident he was maybe necessarily in the game plans. And as a quarterback, by Friday, you should have a really good feel that, hey, this game plan, I love this game plan. It's solid.
It's really good. It's really good stuff because he's talking about his own experience, and it sounds like he was talking about when the final year with Carson Wentz. He didn't know what to pick. He didn't know what was going to work. He's almost looking for the thing that'll give you the not an interception or a sack. And didn't it seem
freaking mind? We better figure this out.
Didn't it seem like that's the way they were calling plays this year? They were just picking blindly out of a hat.
Yeah, this looks like it'll be good for this play. Jalen, go do something here. That's the way it felt. And you absolutely could read the subtext of where he was describing.
For sure. And it was like that with Brian Johnson, too. Remember late in the year, they were trying to overuse Jalen in the running game because they had no other answers. They kept blitzing him, and they couldn't figure out how to stop it. They had no adjustment. So they were, running these weird Jalen Hurts running plays.
And it was not working.
And it wasn't working at all.
Not at all. Not in the slightest.
And it really was, they were so desperate, they had no answers. And that's the way it looked. The last play call of the year.
Yep.
Was
indicative of it all.
It really was. It's the way the season should have ended.
That's perfectly the way it went down. It is interesting to listen to Peterson, and I listened to a decent amount of that podcast.
Good insights.
Really good insight. I felt like, and this is a content game thing here, like they spent like a half hour on the Philly special, and it was like, all right, you got the 30 for 30 coming out this week. Like I'll get this in a couple days. Like I would love more takes on this team because it seems like they all had considerable takes.
They're paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah, watching what had happened with this team. But listening to Peterson go through all of what I wanted as a quarterback, what I want as a coach, and all these things, it just kind of sounds like anyone with coaching experience watched this Eagles team this year, just pulling their whatever hair they had left out.
What are they doing?
Yeah. And also to that point, when he's talking about Carson, there was a part earlier in the podcast where they talk about the co-host was like, you guys were 4-1 together in the playoffs. That's a really good, combination. And Nick's talked about how much he trusted what Doug was doing. Doug talked about how much he trusted. And I'm just sitting there like, I can understand why Carson hated everything. These two dudes were just
it's so true
in love with one another. And came back in.
Everybody naturally, because I don't think it ever had to do anything with Carson and Nick. Everybody naturally, we asked Trey Burton about it, and he talked about Nick. He didn't talk about him on the field. He talked about him off the field. And I think Trey is spiritual as well, and so is Nick. But there was a connection. He made a connection with his teammates. Carson was awkward.
Yep.
And didn't have the same kind of personality. He was unapproachable to a lot of people. There was a divide in the locker room just because he was awkward. And there might be a little bit of that with Jalen in a different type of awkwardness or lack of self-awareness part.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see why it was a problem. I also, it's funny, the Trey Burton, you know what I took from that more than anything when Trey Burton was on with us, and it's on YouTube if you want to catch it. Trey Burton was talking about the Philly special 30 was coming up, but he had said that when they called the initial play, Nick was very vocal when he didn't like plays, and he didn't like the play. And he went over, and he goes, how about Philly? And Doug goes, yeah. What if Jalen Hurts said, hey, how about anything but that play? And Nick talked about that on the podcast, that you have to have more influence on the offense. By the way, the offensive coordinator, if the Super Bowl MVP is coming over saying, let's do this, what do you think Kevin Patullo's going to say? He's probably wishing that Jalen would come over and give him a play to run.
At that point in the season, yeah.
Holy Christ.
Save my job. If I told you when you made the bet for the Foles tattoo on the day of the anniversary of that Super Bowl, that Nick Foles would have ended up with as many playoff victories as an Eagle, as Carson Wentz ended up with as many passes in the postseason as an Eagle, what would you have said to me?
I would have been shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked at Carson Wentz's demise. And we really didn't we didn't have a large enough sample size. We just didn't. Everything that went right for him and his injuries derailed him.
Of course.
We could do the whole Carson Wentz thing here, but we
don't need to today.
His biggest issue was his head.
Yeah.
Once they started blitzing him and he had injuries and he couldn't escape and he tried to play hero ball and he saw ghosts. Sam Darnold once upon a time saw ghosts. Carson Wentz has been awful whenever he's played since then. Awful. All right, coming up, live from Santa Clara. Well, actually, I guess they're in San Francisco. Wherever they are, he's probably at Super Bowl Radio Row. Our buddy Mike Gill, who you hear on weekends here, and he's down there with his Atlantic City ESPN radio show, live at the Super Bowl with the latest. What are people saying? Is Rossini out there telling lies again today? We'll find out. Mike Gill coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Double header wins. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The 76ers won 113-94 over the Warriors out in Golden State last night. Mike Gill was actually in attendance for this one as VJ Edgecombe dropped 25 points, had 7 rebounds and 7 assists. The Sixers getting back-to-back wins on a back-to-back now. Head to LA to face the Lakers Thursday night at 10 o'clock. You can listen to the game right here on The Fanatic. Flyers won 4-2 over the Capitals last night. Owen Tippett, Jamie Drysdale amongst those to score goals for the Flyers. Dave Ladar had 26 saves in the win, including this one.
Not the center ice. Here comes Washington right back in. Duhaim's got a man going to the net. Oh, a great save by Dan Vladar, closing the 5-hole as Lapierre tried to tuck him through him, and Vladar said nothing doing.
Tomorrow night, Flyers back at home against the Senators at 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game on WMMR. We're days away from the Super Bowl. Mike Gill joins us coming up next to talk about everything going on at Radio Row and everything on his mind with Philadelphia sports. This update is brought to you by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship this Saturday. It's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship at Xfinity Mobile Arena with Knuckle Mania 6 featuring a heavyweight title fight, plus Conor McGregor and many more. Tickets at BKFC.com. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the Sixers Flyers, the best bird talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
You know, Mike Gill used to be an alt rock DJ. Were you working that day? He was telling him he knows everything about 90s alt rock. This is 80s. This is 80s.
And this might be his favorite one-hit wonder.
Is it? Is that what he told you?
Could be.
Do you know if you try dialing 867-5309, you can't get through?
They just disconnected the number?
I think every area code that you would try, because I tried it. It never goes through. Yeah. Because think about it. If you
Where's
had the
Jenny
phone
when you need
number,
her?
if you had the phone number 867-5309, it may not mean anything to people that don't know the song, but 20 years ago it did.
Yeah, life would be hell. Even I know this song. Even I would dial this number out of curiosity.
Yeah. Well, Mike Gill joins us right now, his afternoon show on ESPN Atlantic City. And, of course, you hear him right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. He's calling live from Super Bowl Radio Row. Mr. Gill?
What's up there, Marks?
Now, Mike's number, if you want to text him, is 609-867-5309. Just ask for Jay.
I mean, he gives me a random question. I had to come up with a random answer.
No.
That's the first thing that came to my mind. I literally, as you guys are calling me, I got two nuggets for you, okay? One, as my phone is ringing, Ocho Cinco walks up to me, gives me the biggest hug as if he knew me. There's T.O., by the way. What's going on?
Oh, man.
As if he knew me my whole life. He came up and he hugged me and he said, "Go Birds, I want to be the offensive coordinator." Who wanted Ocho Cinco to be the Eagles' offensive coordinator is the first question.
Well, listen, who knows? They could bring him in. He could do quality control or something like that. What, that T.O., not T.O., Ocho Cinco was training for, what was he training for? He was in the city for a couple of months, and he loved it. He was awesome.
Right. And it's funny, like, he has no affiliation with the Eagles, but he, like, always is, like, talking about them. And he's literally standing a foot from me. He's doing some podcast. And he came up to me as if he knew me his whole life. I mean, the hug he gave me knocked the wind out of me, by the way.
Was everybody looking at you like you were a big deal? Like, oh, man, that guy knows Ocho Cinco.
No, the biggest deal right now is standing in front of me. The Phillies sports guy is some reason on Radio Row, dressed in Phillies Eagle gear. I don't understand why, but yes, when Ocho Cinco came by here, it was a pretty big.
Well, because deal. he's a grown man that has his face painted and he's dressed in Philadelphia gear. That's why he's there.
Exactly. There's a lot. By the way, so another Jeff Garcia, I had him on. He'll be on my show later. I re-recorded the interview.
Cool.
He gave me an interesting nugget today. Who said he called the Eagles and offered to help coach with Jalen Hurts. He had coached Sean Mannion when he was with the Rams. Garcia was a coach with the Rams in 2015 and coached Mannion there. And he said that the Eagles never even called him back, which he was not very happy about, and expressed that. He goes on to kind of say that he calls to Howie, and he called Nick about offering his services to work with Jalen.
Jeff Garcia's always been very willing to speak in the media about. I know, like, he always seems like he wants to be involved. Why does he never get jobs? He's always wanted to do stuff.
Well, and it's funny because apparently he's worked with. I looked back at Tyrod Taylor, a couple other quarterbacks, but he was with the Rams in 2015. But he has never coached again since. Right. So your question is valid. Like, why? Has he not gotten calls back or anything? But I thought that was kind of interesting that all these people, we were talking about how desirable this job is, and there are people, Ocho Cinco, one of them, was interested in the job. Now that one, I guess, is kind of cosplay fun, but it's been an interesting day so far.
But like, so I wonder what the vibe is out there, because just when you bring up the offensive coordinator stuff, there's no doubt that McDaniel said, no, I'd rather go to Los Angeles than go to Philly. That Daboll did the same thing. And I didn't think it was a bad thing at all that they took those jobs, because it just, like, Daboll wanted to run his own offense. He didn't want to work for Nick Sirianni, whatever the reasons are. They didn't want the pressure cooker of being in Philly. McDaniel definitely made the right decision going back to California. He shouldn't have come here. It would have been a bad fit if he had other options. Other than that, Mike, there's nobody telling the Eagles they didn't want the job. Guys that were looking for their big shot, like that, this is a big shot. This is a big deal. Guys that have ever been there, they're just looking to get their next shot so they can be head coaches again. There was nobody that turned the Eagles down. What's the vibe out there about the whole offensive coordinator thing this week?
So oddly enough, the Super Bowl's going on and nobody seems to care. It is a lot about, everybody's, when stations come here, like mine, you're like, why are you there? Your team's not in the Super Bowl. Well, you're trying to find angles to further what happened with your team. Cooper DeJean is here, by the way.
Right.
We got a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier. That is actually more beneficial when your team's not in the Super Bowl, because the actual players are here, so you get a chance to talk to them about that. And there's a lot of people talking about the Eagles' offensive coordinator situation, and people who have Jeff Garcia. We asked him that question. He said he tried to find places that the coordinator and the terminology was the same, right? So the coach wants to try to work with somebody who he doesn't have to reteach all the terminology. So if you are Mike McDaniel or Brian Daboll, and you have an opportunity, if there was no other opportunity, the Eagles is very attractive to everybody. But if you had multiple opportunities, you would say, do I really want to teach a whole new system to somebody who has never worked in this system? And that's one of the things Garcia said. Look, I went from San Francisco, and I played for Mariucci, then Detroit. I was with Mariucci again. Then when I came to, Tampa Bay, it was a very similar. So these people don't want to have to learn it as well. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So Andy Reid here in Philly. So, yeah, it is a big topic, believe me, because, there's a lot of former coaches and guys who played in different systems, and it's very fact-finding of the way they think.
Mike Gill live at the Super Bowl Radio Row. Chad Johnson's to his left, T.O.'s to his right, and you're talking to me.
That's a good one-hit wonder.
And
That's a good one-hit wonder.
And you're doing is it Tommy two-tones or touch-tones? Or
well, I could change it to clown is to the left of me, Joker's to the right. Here I am,
stuck in the middle with you. By?
Yes.
Who sings it?
Steelers Wheel.
Yeah. Steelers Wheel, yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, that's what I would have said. Yeah, good job.
Okay.
Famously known for what movie scene? You're not a movie guy.
Reservoir Dogs.
Correct.
Reservoir Dogs.
Michael Madsen is cutting off the ear of Nash.
I know the movies that I know well. There's only like 7 of them, but I do know 7 of them well.
All right. The other, I know Diana Rossini was asked this by people. So a lot of people, obviously one of the big stories in the NFL is A.J. Brown and what's going to happen with him. We had Brandon Lee Gouton on from Bleeding Green Nation, and I asked him the percentage chance that he gets traded, and he said, well, I'll answer it like this. There is a 0% chance he's back next year. So, in other words, A.J. Brown's getting traded. It's a matter of where he's going and how much he's getting. Do you feel the same way? And do you think it's we should just get it, beat it into my dome? A.J. Brown's going to be traded and will not be back.
I this whole time I have not felt that way. But we kind of look what happened with the Phillies and the run-it-back nature.
Right.
Howie Roseman doesn't feel like a run-it-back kind of guy. It almost feels like he's got to be saying, you know what, maybe we have hit the apex of this. We won a Super Bowl. We've got this, opportunity. Maybe we jump at it. So I am starting to get a percentage. Where my percentage before, John, was 0, it is now lifting to about 15% that I would say, yes, I could foresee that potentially happening. And it's not on anything other than more the Howie Roseman nature of not wanting to rest on his laurels and just run the offense back. Because, quite frankly, everybody is signed. They can't make a change. The only change they can do is if somebody forces them to make a change, and that might be the way they make a change. Otherwise, the whole offensive line is signed. Hurts is signed. Barkley's signed.
Tight end.
The only guy who's different is Goddard. Yes.
Tight end's a big deal, and I would think they try to bring him back. Goddard's market will be nice, but he's not getting top tight end money. It's a risk. By the way, John, it's a risk with the injury. Yes.
Look at the team in the Super Bowl, Seattle. They've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, and really nothing else. So maybe some of these teams are thinking. Yeah, but I'm talking about in the pass game. Who's the next guy? Rashid Shaheed is a one-hit wonder, right? I mean, there's another one-hit wonder reference for you.
Yep.
But he's a guy who is a deep ball guy. The Eagles are the one team that has these 2 wide receivers that we start every conversation with. Well, they have Smith and they have Brown. Well, maybe the Eagles are saying we need to change our identity a little bit.
Yeah. Talking to Mike Gill live from the Super Bowl. What else is you mentioned T.O., what else is on the agenda as far as the parties, or what are you going to be doing here? Today's Wednesday, so it's finally going to pick up. Today's the first big day.
I went to the Sixers game last night.
Oh,
they happened to play here. It was what an amazing arena out there. Unbelievable. Yeah. By the way, we will be talking with Donovan McNabb today at, I don't know what time I'm at right now, 12:30 this time. So Donovan McNabb will be up on my socials later. I am also tentatively scheduled to talk to Cam Jurgens and Nakobe Dean. That will be probably on another day. But
Yeah, as I said, when the teams are not in the Super Bowl, the players who are at the Pro Bowl are out here. So
trying to make some money.
Cooper DeJean, they're at the Cooper played in the Pro Bowl last night.
Right.
I don't know if Juergens did. He made the Pro Bowl, but I don't know what a lineman would do in that game. I didn't watch. But I did go to the Sixers game last night, which the arena was unbelievable. By the way, I saw Nahagian, and he says hello.
You saw Nahagian out there. Yeah, I saw his videos. He's out there, former program director of 97.5 The Fanatic. Been in San Francisco for many years now. He was out there videoing stuff very early in the morning. Oh, Nahagian. Good old times. All right. Well, listen. If you see Carrot Top set up, tell him I said hello because it was when I was in Phoenix. It was the highlight of my week seeing Carrot Top walk by.
Oh, by the way, I don't know how many people are WWE fans out there, but
Ray is.
Ray, I used to call. I was the play-by-player for CFFC. My color analyst was CM Punk, and he was here, and he came walking over to my table, and he made a stupid little joke like, "Hey, I'd ask you what you're doing here, but obviously you're working." But he was in total character when I saw him originally, and he blew right past me as if he never met me before. But then he came back over and apologized that he was in character. But that is a wild thing, right? That the guy's that much in character that he's almost like so tunnel vision.
Right. That he just because you worked with him many times. Any other name drops you want to mention there? You saw T.O. Chad Johnson's hugging you and kissing you. CM Punk's personal friends. Anybody? Any other big stars that you know out there?
John Marks isn't here. He would be next on the star list, I would guess. I don't know. It's Wednesday, so it's a little early.
It is.
But we are situated right next to the Nightcap podcast, which is, you got the Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp.
Well, that's a big deal right there. All right, dude. Well, listen, don't get arrested. All right, stay out of trouble.
I'm low key, man. I went to the Sixers game last night and then to bed. That's my day.
All right, I'll talk to you, buddy.
All right, guys. See you.
All right, Mike Gill. Maybe we talk to him on Friday because he's right. Having been a veteran of 2 Super Bowl radio rows. 2? Yeah, 2. It was we went out in Phoenix. We were out there on Monday, and there was nobody there. It sucked. It literally sucked. Other than when we were in Phoenix, there was because you're out of your element, you're out of your studio, so you're just in this very generic. Because we're at the
convention center.
We're at the convention center. We're just in this very generic big room, and there's not a lot of people there. There's no guests being walked around. All the guests really start Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, it's nuts. But we're just like, all right, cool. So we're in this convention center doing our show from by a table and whatever. And you're looking for action because it's Super Bowl week. There's no action out there yet. So Wednesday, it starts to get crazy or it starts to get good.
I think Wednesday we started last year, I want to say.
Were you there?
No, I was here.
Have you been to a radio row?
Mm-mm.
I went to a Final Four radio row in 2017.
Ooh.
I was working nights, WIP. They sent me out there, and I was awesome.
That sounds awesome.
It was Thursday, Friday. It was really cool because the same weekend, what was it like the women's one of the teams that was in the Super Bowl in the Final Four, their women's team was in the women's Final Four. I watched South Carolina against it was Dawn Staley against maybe it was Oregon somebody, but from the hotel because each hotel it's like all right the South Carolina hotel is this hotel so everybody stays there. And I was in the hotel bar of South Carolina. And the place, I'm telling you, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. People were buying me drinks, and I was friends with everybody, and it was awesome.
It's a great crowd to be caught up in, too.
It was really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'd like to make one of those radio rows. That would be kind of a career bucket list type deal.
Army Navy radio rows, I've been to many of them. That's been fun. When they have them in Philly, it's easy to go to.
Yeah, I'd like to get to that.
Yeah, they're fun. All right, you know who else is fun? Herb from Northeast Philly.
Okay.
Herb, last time we talked to Herb, was he on the toilet?
I think that's the last we spoke to him, right?
So, Herb, there's been some bidet talk in the news. Does the TJ Maxx bathroom in Northeast Philly have a bidet in the bathroom? How are you, Herb?
What's up, Johnny Mark? Okay. You should have put me on with them, Michael, man. I'm coming down. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm flying to San Fran, 8:35 a.m., bro.
You leave tonight?
Okay. I'm leaving tomorrow morning, 8:30.
All right, so you leave here, so you'll get out there right around. So you'll be out
12
there.
o'clock.
Yeah, all right.
12:05.
So what's on the agenda?
12:05.
Are you sponsored going out there? Do you have a sponsored or no?
No, I don't have a sponsor. I'm going. I told you I'm going to see Dave Esker, my buddy from Stanford, the baseball coach. They might have a couple practices. I probably will have a couple practices.
Does he know you're coming out to see him?
Yeah, he knows. He's been a couple weeks ago. I told him.
Nice.
So,
all right, so you're going to get out there.
The Super Bowl teams are going to be practicing at Stanford.
Okay.
Today, tomorrow, and Friday.
So you're going to check that out?
Yeah, I'm going to probably check it out because the baseball stadium is close to the field they use is close to the football.
So are you? When is your return flight home? Is there a chance you're going to go to the game?
Wednesday. Next one. I'm staying till next Wednesday. I come home.
Nice. All right. Well, you're going to have to give us updates.
Yeah.
So Ray, we're going to have to get an update on Friday from Ray.
I need you to contact, okay, Brian Baldinger. I know you have his cell number.
I do. That's great.
And I'm going to be at the NFL Experience at 2:00. I'm going to actually leave earlier to get up there because I heard it's about an hour and a half ride. There's a lot of people on the road. I got my own car. So I'll probably head up that way like around 10 a.m., 10:15. I got a ticket for 2 p.m. to go in.
All right. What do you want me to tell Baldy? I'm typing it right now. What do you want me to
give him my number and tell him to call me? And
well, he's not going to do that. Let's be realistic. If I text Baldy right now and say call her,
tell him I'm looking for a ticket if he can get me. If he can get me in, let me know. That's all.
All right.
If not, it's no big deal because I'm going to watch it somewhere. You know,
okay.
I'll probably go to some famous steakhouse. And
now, you looking for a complimentary ticket, or do you have a budget?
Yeah, you know, like, look, they.
I got to include that in the text.
My buddy last night was looking for what's his name? My boy from New York. You know.
I don't know.
Troy Vincent. Troy knows me.
Right.
But you understand? And Troy might be I don't know if he located his number. He was supposed to.
You want me to text him too?
So, you know.
You want me to text Troy? I have his number.
Text him, tell him I'm coming out there. Yeah, I want to hook up with him, you know.
Do you have a code name, or does he just know you as Herb?
Herb, no, just tell him Herb from the Northeast. Then just tell him, you know what to tell him. You know, tell him Herb Baseball 23 at Yahoo. That's my email. You know that.
Oh, everybody, Herb. What is it, Herb? Baseball 23?
Baseball 23 at yahoo.com.
Was 23 your number?
That's my number, brother.
Now, was that Jordan, or were you 23 before Jordan?
23, no.
That was just your number?
Jordan.
Okay.
Baseball, yeah.
All
right. So, anyway.
Herb, listen, safe travels.
What else did I want to talk to you about?
I don't know.
Oh, what's important, the important things, okay, there's a lot of things.
Okay.
I sent you a text about we need to get physical tight ends up there. Okay?
Herb wants, all right, listen, we're up against it, Herb. Thank you. Herb wants 4 tight ends and multiple fullback formations. That's what he's looking for.
I just think there's now an opportunity to make the movie like Herb, because he was clearly the one that made 23 the number of stars.
Well, hold on a second. I have to finish texting Baldy.
Are you sure you're going to finish that text to Baldy, or are you just going to jump to texting Troy Vincent?
Well, no, that's coming up next. I have to mention that the ticket needs to be free.
Right.
The Super Bowl ticket.
The Super Bowl
looking
ticket.
for a free Super Bowl ticket. All right, Senate. I'll get Troy during the break.
Yeah. Listen, I've shown up places before where I'm like, I got to figure out how to get in, how I'm going to make it work. Flying out to San Fran.
Well, I know Baldy in his suitcase has those folders, like a trapper keeper, full of Super Bowl tickets that he gives out.
Makes sense. That's honestly, though, if there was one person that deserves that from the NFL, the guy that wears the shield every time he's on your television, Baldy deserves to have like a roll of NFL tickets or Super Bowl tickets just give out from the NFL.
I agree. And if there's a caller that deserves one of those tickets, it's clearly Herb from Northeast Philly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming up next.
Yeah.
Your phone calls, and it's a Waymo Wednesday. Yep. We're not getting away with Ray's going to be driving. He's going to be riding in a Waymo every day by the time we're done with this bit. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Don't go anywhere. Listen, let's talk about what are you doing for the big game. You looking to bet the big game? Well, listen. Hey, there's nothing else you need to do than get to the BetParks app right now because they have a little something going on of everything, right? So check it out. Right now, they're offering a special contest that's going on, all right? You register for a chance to win 2022 season tickets to the Birds. Here's what all you have to do. For every $25 wager on the BetParks app for the big game, get you registered for a chance to win those tickets. All right, 50 BetParks users across all the states will randomly be drawn to receive the BetParks bonus bets, and one grand prize winner receives season tickets to the local pro football team. Because this is going on in Baltimore, in Detroit, in Pittsburgh, and right here in Philadelphia. That's all you got to do. That's all new and existing BetParks customers earn one entry in to win the season tickets for every $25 bet they make on the big game. We're talking about all the bets. Coin toss, point spread. Right now, Seattle's 4.5 points. The money line, Seattle's also there. The over-under, whatever you're looking for. Player props, everything right now in the BetParks app is the only online sportsbook and casino app that I would ever use. Download the BetPark app and enjoy it right now with me and the big game season ticket giveaway from BetParks. Terms and conditions apply. See BetParks.com. You must be 21 and located in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
2 wins in a night. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Last night, the West Coast swing continued for the 76ers following the win in L.A. over the Clippers. They got a win up at Golden State against the Warriors. VJ Edgecombe, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and this big jumper.
103-86 Sixers, 2 seconds. VJ hangs, fires, puts it up and in. An incredible shot by Edgecombe. And the Sixers lead 105-86. VJ with 23.
They've got the night off tonight before they go to L.A. again, this time to play the Lakers at 10 o'clock tomorrow evening. You can listen to the game right here on The Fanatic. Flyers won 4-2 at home over the Capitals last night. Owen Tippett, Jamie Drysdale both had goals in the win. Dan Villar had 26 saves for the Flyers. They have the Senators Thursday night at 7 o'clock at Xfinity Mobile Arena. We're just days away from the Super Bowl. Mike Gill joined us from Radio Row in that last segment. Be able to catch their entire conversation with him on our website or the Fanatic app. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale is here. Score unbeatable deals and get matched with a perfect bed. They make sleep easy. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Yes, it is. This is how I start every day.
Huh?
This is how I start every day.
Really?
This is my alarm.
Seriously?
Yeah.
But how much does you let the whole thing play?
Yeah. It's the reason why I've had a few roommates move out.
Really?
It's a lot. Full blare. 7 o'clock in the morning. No.
I was gonna say it's really weird. I do like the song. Na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na. Yeah, Cy, I think, went through some stuff. Something tells me he's not, not all that functional.
Really? I haven't followed the size story since.
I actually
since
don't know
Gangnam
that.
Style.
Just he's a one-hit wonder. You're missing all those other deep tracks, right?
The Psy fans are going to come after me for this one. I can't believe that we had him listed as a one-hit wonder.
Oh, my God. One-hit wonder Wednesday. Well, we're back. The 1 o'clock hour of the program, as always, brought to you by Morgenstern Hair Restoration. Great teams stick together. So does great hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration Championship results. Visit morgensternhair.com or call 610-831-HAIR. Herb called back, and he was doing the podcast with Nate. You know what we should have done? Just went back in the studio and did it.
Yeah.
Because then he was bringing up Flyers points.
Oh.
And unfortunately, with Herb, we can't cover everything. We talked about his trip out there. Then he wanted to get into the nuts and bolts with the Eagles. We just didn't have time.
Right. Yeah. We didn't have time to break down the 3 tight ends that they need to sign this offseason.
But you laugh. It's a big part of what Sean McVay does. He has all these tight ends. And that's, I guess, something Mannion's going to want to do. I don't know. I mean,
the issue is he has 0 under contract.
Correct. Calcaterra, I don't need him.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
Right. Unless they actually look at him and be like, no, we would know how to use him. Eagles didn't know how to use him. That dumb Patullo kept bringing him in blocking situations. Like, what are you doing? He stinks. He's the
dumbest coach in the world.
He's the last guy you want blocking. And Sirianni's like, huh?
We like that guy. He does really great at practice. Calcaterra screams guy Sirianni likes because his practice is.
You know what
really
I mean,
impressive.
though? It's one thing to blame Patullo for stuff like that. Everybody that's an Eagle fan should know, why are they bringing him in blocking situations? Calcaterra can't block. Why does the head coach not get involved in those
So I'm not
decisions?
doing a good enough job.
Yeah, it's why we have 25 new offensive analysts here.
For
all cosplaying different roles.
For all the Colorillo guys out there that want to defend Nick Sirianni and everything.
Hell
how come,
yeah.
How come Nick Sirianni's not involved in just like that's
So much good.
So dumb. You put any offensive lineman out there instead of Calcaterra. But anyway.
Well, it just keeps Calcaterra bought in that he goes out there. That's what Sirianni's all about.
By the way, if you're looking for something to do with the Super Bowl and you want to get crazy with Ray and Connor, oh, man, I got something for you. Super Bowl Sunday with 97.5 The Fanatic at the West at Caesars Atlantic City. Connor and Ray hosting their own Super Bowl pregame live broadcast that you can hear right here on The Fanatic.
Yeah.
So if you're not going down and you're driving around, I know I'll be tuned in. But it's a tailgate game day party, includes live DJ, oversized games, interactive competitions, swag giveaways, and an open bar with buffet service. That has everything. Like when I think of open bar, I think of Ray and Connor. Buffet service, I think of me. Or Ray after he gets drunk, then he hits the open bar.
And that's the tough part of the buffet with the open bar. By the time you get to the buffet, it's going to be picked over probably.
Well, no, you eat early and then you eat late.
Right, yeah. It's just whether or not I'm there to eat early.
But make sure that you get the base.
Right. I should.
Part of the problem with me and broadcast, I can't eat and do the broadcast. I can't get a big burger or chicken wings, and then I'm like during the break, I have barbecue sauce all over the keyboard and the equipment. I have the better chance I'm throwing up than I'm eating before a broadcast.
I always think about that with T-Mac and Kruk. Like,
I couldn't do it.
How do you pull that off? That would be like one of the first Tom McCarthy industry questions I'd ask him. Like, how in the world do you pull off? One, it would be Alumni Day.
I don't think he does that on the regular, though.
Even when they bring
we got to get actually, we got to get Tom on. It's a good idea. We got to get Tom on.
When they bring that in the even bring it into the booth to me is distracting. The smell of it would be too much for me.
Right, I agree. Yeah, I don't want. I did. I'm telling you, right. We figured it out one time. How many Chickies and Pete's broadcasts I did in my career?
Oh my God!
I worked with Mike at Chickies and Pete's. I did Talking Baseball with Dutch at Chickies and Pete's at Parks Casino. That's 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. I did a weekly Chickies and Pete's broadcast. Now, not during COVID. We didn't do it during then. But other than that, I did a weekly Chickies broadcast pretty much for my entire career.
Yeah.
So I can't eat Chickies and Pete's wings or pizza or crab fries and then do the broadcast. I just can't do it. My stomach won't allow it. and it's messy. But you'll get people that, got a break here. Let me get the burger. Take a big bite. Normally you eat before. I don't know.
Yeah.
Will you eat during the break? Also, Super Bowl broadcast, though.
I'll probably eat during the broadcast.
Eat during the broadcast.
Yeah.
It's good for the broadcast.
I haven't gotten our break times for this special, so it depends. If we got one of the longer breaks, there's a good chance I'll chow down. If it's a shorter break,
we just eat on the air. Who's driving the show?
Connor.
Connor drives the show?
Yeah, so I'm in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even better.
Oh. This is setting up to be an all-time weekend for me. The pregame show we do here, a little inside baseball for you. Connor's got a wealth of, this is where I want it to go, this is where I want to go.
Oh, so you just show up.
And he'll be like, I get here, he's like, all right, opening drive, what's the topic you want to hit? What's the biggest thing you want in the opening hour? And he always goes with, all right, your brain's weird. What's the one weird thing you want to get into for the pregame show? Right. And that's basically for the prep of the show. Connor is the brains behind the operation.
Oh, that's a pretty good space for you to be.
Yeah, 2-chair, just reacting to whatever he has to say.
You come in and get crazy. You can go to the events page at 975thefanatic.com for details, but it sounds like a lot of fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. All right, it's a Waymo Wednesday. Ray, I know that you claim that you're not going to take the Waymo, but you're going to take the Waymo. It's in Philadelphia right now. It's in the testing phase. Ray does not want to do it.
I am not going to take it. But the two callers we had in the 1 o'clock hour might be able to take it. Mike Gill and Herb from Northeast Philly.
Because it's out there.
Because preparation out there for Waymo is already underway to deal with the Super Bowl crowds out there in the Bay Area. Waymo's big out there, and they're ready to take you where you need to go for the big game. Take a listen to Bay Area News, preparing you for the Waymo surge.
We're going to have some road closures, we're going to have some traffic, and we're going to have a lot of people coming into town. But here's one big change. We have a lot more driverless cars nowadays. Waymo making a big push. Here's NBC's Scott Budman.
You'll probably see a lot of Waymos during Super Bowl week here. You might even see this new branding done up with footballs for the big game.
It's a Waymo, but a football on the side of it. It's the same driverless car you love, but now there's a football attached to it. And don't worry, it's not the full 1,000 cars that got the football treatment, just 20 of them. There are 20 cars with a football on the side of them, because that's the investment Waymo needed to make in their product. More footballs on the side of the car.
And also, they didn't stand out before, the Waymos. They just slide under the radar, the Waymos, right?
Now you'll be drawn to it, and now you'll take it to go to the big game.
Yeah, and I'm being facetious because there's cameras all over this damn thing. Mm-hmm. When you see it for the first time, your reaction is, what the hell is that? And then you realize what it is. It's a self-driving car.
Now, their Waymo looks a little bit more normal. Now, of course, with the football on the side, it looks weird, like, a very cheap company trying to get some free advertising on the car they're driving around. But it looks odd still. But let's continue. Let them keep going with it.
All right, go.
We have special Super Bowl themed draft cars. There's 20 cars in the fleet.
A new look to go with $16 billion of new investment funding.
To be clear, again, it was just 20 cars of the 1,000-car fleet that got the football. But $16 billion has flown in, so that's good. That's good. We'll keep going.
Valuing Waymo at $126 billion. And new places to meet fans flying into the Bay Area. The fleet itself will not expand this week. It currently stands at about 1,000 Bay Area-based cars. But if you have the Waymo app, you can get a ride and find out about game-related road closures.
There you go. See that? It's like a traffic app in one.
It's exactly like that. And you say, John, why in the world is this being played right now on John Mark's program on Waymo Wednesday? There was any crash or anything with
kids didn't get run over by the Waymo.
Exactly. It's a very normal news story. Waymo is promoting their football-wrapped cars the same day that their executives are on the Hill right now trying to say that this is not dangerous.
Are they really testifying in front of Congress? Yes. Are they?
This is the top news story when you look up Waymo right now. And Waymo is right now trying to argue that they're safe.
It's not dangerous. Sure. Sometimes things happen, but that happens all the time. That'd be like me coming on the air saying you shouldn't take an Uber. Ubers are dangerous because things happen with Uber, but no one complains about it. You have maniacs driving the car. I'd rather have nobody driving the car than some of these Uber drivers.
That's not true.
It sure is.
That's not true. By the way, the road closures they're going to let you know about, yeah, because this app has such a great history of acknowledging road closures.
Right. So what if they drove through an active crime scene with guns drawn and it just cruised right through it because it didn't know it was supposed to stop?
So what if the kids are crossing to go to the bus? It's just a Waymo.
They'll fix
it's the
it.
way of the future.
It's just a glitch. Coming up, the YouTube chat recap, last call for phone calls and text messages. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Sixers are opening eyes and
Oh, this is so Ray can dance. He saved this to the last segment, huh?
I did.
We've all been there for this.
Yeah. Also remind me why I enjoyed One Hit Wonder Wednesday so much last time. We got the Harlem Shake.
When I emailed you this morning, I was like, is Ray going to do the Harlem Shake? Because we didn't make it a GIF, though.
If Bayless did.
Really?
Yeah, don't worry. No,
it's out there?
It's out there, yeah.
We should be using that on a regular basis. Like mood, and then has you doing the Harlem Shake.
What have we had that mood about in Philadelphia sports over the last month?
When we thought Bo Bichette was going to be a Philly.
There you go.
Because it didn't happen. Couple things here. Mike Miss checks in about the Chickies and Pete's. He said the P. Diddy phone call when we had the celebrity contest was at Parks Casino, Chickies and Pete's. And I was like, you know what? I do remember that.
Something I'm sure Chickies and Pete's wants to be associated with.
Yeah, not necessarily, but yeah, like that's we were out a lot. We were at Resorts Casino in Atlantic City. Mike was the first on the station, and Resorts in 2008 it wasn't like they put a bunch of money in it, whatever. But it was like we were the first show to be of the station to be in Atlantic City, which was kind of a big deal. So we did shows down at Resorts. I think it was during the Phillies won the World Series in 2008. Yeah, so we were down there. So I used to go down every week. And then I was with Ant, and we did the Tropicana. So I'd go down every Friday morning. I guess it was the Tropicana for a while. So that was always fun going down there. All right, you know the trade deadline, the NBA trade deadline is tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
A big trade just happened.
I just saw this.
Right, done. The Dallas Mavericks are trading Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Jaden Hardy, Dante Exum to the Wizards for a number of players, including Chris Middleton, 2 first-round draft picks, 3 second-rounders, etc. So Anthony Davis, I would quickly have to look and see his contractual status, but the Mavericks are just, I guess, moving on and getting draft picks? Because, like, what are they, how are they winning anything? They're not. So they're essentially rebuilding.
Right. They've decided everything we did over the last year was pretty dumb. We've got Cooper Flag. Let's just hit
Let's
the
build it
reset
right
here. Yeah.
Let's build it right. So, and the Wizards, probably unwisely, tying themselves to Anthony Davis, thinking they can make a little bit of a run in the East.
Wizards are the Wizards.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do the thing.
What's Anthony Davis's contract that's left? I would never. I mean, and not that he's not a good player, but are you winning anything with Anthony Davis as your best or your second best player? I don't think so.
I mean, I guess the counter to that would be if you're in the bubble.
Well, it depends on who you're first. He's got a player option in 2027, 2028 for $62 million. So he's making 54 this year, 58 next year, and then a player option for 62.7. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Knee-jerk reaction, good trade, bad trade. Who wins this one? I feel like
the team giving
the
up on
Mavs.
Davis, yeah.
I feel like the
one.
Mavs. Because who cares who they got? They're getting draft picks and they're getting salary relief. I don't know the contract of these other guys.
Yeah, the Trae Young, Anthony Davis combination in Washington might get me to go down to a game in D.C. It won't exactly get me excited to throw a couple of dollars on them to win the finals.
Right.
So
a Wizard fan that's miserable, you like this short term? I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they've got
I like this for the Mavs.
Yeah, I take this for the Mavs.
For sure.
I'm in on that for the Mavs.
We didn't talk about it earlier. Sixers win last night. James Harden traded to the Cavs for Darius Garland and a second-round draft pick. So more or less the Clippers just say, we'll take Garland, who I guess has kind of regressed. And this year he's not having the same year he did last year. And James Harden, I believe this, even with Donovan Mitchell, and maybe they're a little bit of an odd fit that together, that the Cavs are, I would say the Cavs have a better chance to win now than they did. James Harden's still a good player.
He is.
On the right team in a shorter fit.
I just think it slows them down. I just thought that the pace they played with was tremendous. You can't deny
Playoff
the
basketball.
scoring. Yeah, you can't deny the scoring. Well, I don't know if playoff basketball is the argument you want to make for James Harden.
But I've seen that, but I also remember James Harden almost like it was one of the reasons they lost to the Celtics. Also, one of the reasons they were in that game.
Yeah. They were up in that series because he gave you 2 incredible games. They lost that series because he gave you 2 absolute clunkers.
Yeah. He didn't show up in that decisive game. Yeah, I agree. I like the move for the Cavs. The Clippers, who cares?
Clippers just interested. If they're really going to reset the books in 2027, I want to start looking at that 27 free agent class and what they could actually go after, because that 28 pick for the Sixers is a valuable thing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, let's get to the YouTube chat recap. Boom.
It's time for the YouTube chat recap.
How about filling us in? Let me tell you something else, man.
Watch us live on YouTube every single weekday.
I can't lie. Let me tell you something.
It's the Middays with Marks YouTube chat recap.
Hit me.
As long as Embiid is on the roster, it won't allow the needed cohesiveness of a team that can compete for anything. The ceiling is winning one playoff round each year. Neo from the YouTube chat.
That's the ceiling? Feels like it right now with if the Sixers win. All right, let me ask it like that. If the Sixers were to win a playoff series this year, it feels like a successful season? I mean, that's pretty pathetic, but I think it's true.
Probably true.
The Flyers making the playoffs at this point would be a huge success. Now it seems almost unattainable.
That's where the bars were set. It's sad bars to be set, but it's kind of where the bar was set.
So what is it next year with the Flyers? Am I not allowed to expect a playoff berth next year?
Can we expect that they won't be the team with the longest drought? Because a couple of teams with the longest droughts postseason-wise might break them this year. Could we expect that they don't get to the longest? Is that enough to say that I want this to be over before they're the laughingstock?
I mean, people that I don't know hockey, people that know hockey are hesitant to say, if I ask Jason next time he's in him, I said, can I expect the Flyers to make the playoffs next year? I don't think he's going to say, oh, yeah, that's the expectation. Why can you not make that the expectation? Why? Do you understand what I'm saying? Each sport is a little bit different, and I'm not telling you to go out and get rid of all your young players to try to make the playoffs. Are you kidding me? You can't expect it? They're going to do enough to make the playoffs next year? I don't know. Hey, don't get me talking hockey, Ray.
You don't want to see it.
Yeah, people are going to be so mad that I know what I'm talking about. All right, what's next?
Nate might have failed chemistry, but he has succeeded in biology with that hair. If Bayless from the YouTube chat...
Is the picture out there of his hair?
I mean, I guess yesterday they saw him.
Oh, he was on camera yesterday. Yeah.
I was going to say, where were they seeing him? But yeah, yesterday.
Oh, you're right. He was producing yesterday.
Oh, chemistry.
The hair's a nice look. I don't have the same, I use product, but I just do it differently. He takes the hair gel, he said it was pomade.
Yeah.
And he takes the comb and he has the long comb marks in the hair.
That's a lot for me.
It is a lot. It looks good, though.
Yeah, no, it does a great job with it.
He pulls it off. All right, what's next?
I don't believe A.J. Brown was ever an explosive receiver or a speed receiver. He's a physical receiver. His problem is that his head is not in the game anymore. I believe he still has physical tools, but once your mind is out, you're out. Tony from New Jersey.
I agree, Tony. And also, you can be explosive without being faster than everybody. When I think explosive receiver, I think T.O., because T.O. was never the fastest guy. But if you got him on a slant route and he has some open space, good luck. You ain't getting him. And A.J. Brown was kind of like T.O. light with that. If you could get him, he would break tackles. He would make guys miss. He would run guys over. He was an explosive player. The physical tools, I think, are still there. I agree with him 100%. If you're not totally into it and you're indifferent with what's going on out there, that's a problem. At least T.O. used to be mad as hell. Right? You don't see that with AJ. It's weird.
Not at this point. The only people he's mad as hell at are the people on the sideline with him.
Yeah. No, but he's not even mad. He's just kind of like,
Right.
He shrugs. All right, what's next?
Dutz's hairline starts at his eyelids. Well done. MBD from the YouTube chat.
Hairline's nice. We'll see where that hairline goes. Ray has a good hairline, but then again, you're only 25.
Oh, it's going to go.
Yeah.
It's going to go.
I'll get you over to Morgan's.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll have that conversation at some point, I'm sure.
All right, what's next?
Herb is getting everything off his mind now, and his time in since he's been on hold for the past 3 days. Haitian P from the YouTube chat.
Yep, he's been holding. I've been getting a lot of text messages. He's got a lot to say. But, we spend 4 minutes on him going to the Super Bowl, and he's, you know what I mean? Like the lack of self-awareness that he's not getting a free Super Bowl ticket from Baldy.
Right. That
or even
was
that
more
he's
the concerning one.
Yeah.
The disconnect from reality there was quite a bit.
A little bit.
Like, it's not the Herb moment of the year because we've already packed in the catfishing and
Right. Back-to-back catfishing in the toilet. Right.
So it's already third, but it's got to be close.
Right.
It's got to be close.
Yeah, just give me his number. Okay.
Yeah.
No, tell him to call me. Tell Baldy to call me. Sure.
Giving out his email over the air. I mean, it's not like people could sign you up for some crazy stuff, Herb. And I realized maybe I just gave someone that idea. Don't do that to Herb.
But I've asked him before for his number, and he starts giving it out, and I stop him. Bernie used to do the same thing. If you'd be like, what's your number, Bernie? He would start reading it off. I still remember Bernie's number to this day.
Wow.
Rest in peace. 215-356, and I won't give out the last four numbers because there was this landline, and I believe his wife is still alive. But anyway, there you go. There he is. Coming up next, it is Unfiltered. Ricky Batalico and Bill Colarulo. Don't go anywhere. They're coming up next to you.
Now on 97.